I completely support that. I completely support jumping off the roof.
Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you're joining us tonight. Welcome to Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master for the evening. This is Storm King's Thunder, episode 32. As we continue to delve into this wonderful adventure of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And I just want to throw a quick couple shout outs really quick. One in particular today, Dump Stat Charisma. I want to thank you guys so much for tweeting us out on Twitter the last couple of Fridays and just helping to bring people's awareness to our channel. So thank you guys so much. If you guys want to go onto Twitter and check them out, that's Dump Stat Charisma. Make sure you check them out. What an awesome name. How many of you have made your character based on charisma being your dump stat? Anybody?
I have two.
You have two?
I have two bards. Yes, I do.
That's it. I think we've all been there and done that. So awesome. I want to also remind you all that on May the 4th, Friday, May 4th, our very own Christy Mysticwater will be taking her position behind the DM screen to run a special one-shot adventure for us right here on the Proficiency Bonus channel. So we are looking forward to that.
You're just building up the pressure, Michael.
It's the hype. It's the hype. I gotta hype it.
Hype?
You know? Yeah. I'm the hype man. Hype man. You know? That's what it's about.
You need a Don King wig.
There we
Hyping
go.
up the pressure.
Gotta hype it up. You know?
Oh,
I'm excited.
God.
I'm just excited to be a player in it because I'm looking.
So nervous.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Also want to let you guys know on May 4th, we will have a giveaway that night. We're going to give away a Dish of Shame created by Nightshade Creations, which is one of our partners. They create some cool dice towers and dice rolling boxes and things like that. You should check them out on their webpage. We're going to give away that Dish of Shame and also probably a set of dice. So I do want to mention that we are going to limit the giveaway this time. I know it's going to be a big bummer for a lot of our overseas people, but I'm only going to do it for US only in some parts of Canada based on just me having difficulty shipping out and mailing some of this stuff to our friends overseas. So I apologize for that, but unfortunately, I'm kind of gotten to a point where I keep getting stuff back, and I want to make sure you all get it. So that's why I'm doing that this time for the giveaway. So just make sure you check it out. It'll still be fun. It's going to be a lot of cool, fun times as Christy gets some experience as the Dungeon Master. We're excited about it. We're
My very first time, and I'm streaming it because I'm crazy.
It's going to be awesome. A couple other shout-outs. Shout out to Team MZ for all their support with smaller streamers like us. And also want to throw out a quick shout-out to Many-Sided Dice. They've got an awesome magic compendium out there. You should go check it out. Lost Artifacts of Greygast, which we have a lot of our magic items that we use that pop up in some of our campaigns right here at Proficiency Bonus. So I want to thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over to the party so you guys can see everybody. And here we all are. You'll see that we've got a wonderful cast lined up for you tonight, as we always do. So I hope you guys are excited about tonight. Go ahead, everybody say hello real quick before we jump in.
Hello.
Hi, Fab.
Hello.
That
So are we going on a food run?
Well, that I wanted to make sure that my audio was working correctly, as sometimes I have difficulties. So thank you for doing that. So I gotta make sure everybody on Twitch can hear you guys as what's going to transpire tonight. So we will see. Last week when we were here, our party decided to go back to try and help the city of Fireshear that came under attack by frost giants because our party came up with a brilliant plan to burn their longship that brought them here and basically utterly destroyed the giants' means of escape or leaving. So the giants were very angry, and they decided to take it out on the party by taking prisoners and smashing the town. So our party ended up going back and engaged with two frost giants that were damaging the town. We're able to easily thwart those two giants with the help of their new frost giant, good frost giant friend, Harshnag. Yes, Harshnag. Who seems to be pretty ruthless and doesn't play around with his giant brethren. After that, there was a very kind of eye-opening experience as you guys got to learn a little bit about why Sarvin is the way that he is. Finding out that there was maybe some corruption going on in Fireshear with certain people being able to bribe the leadership into giving them more supplies and things like that, which Diana was not very happy about finding out.
This injustice! This is unbelievable! I'm writing a letter!
As Diana was taking a stand, Callista kind of was on the opposition of things, thinking that, that's just sometimes, that's how the world is. And so we've got an interesting dynamic brewing there. And as the party decided to head on back to Deshara's, where Callista had discovered that they were holding zombie orange peel hostage.
My minion.
They started their attack on these frost giants. One of them in particular looks like he could possibly been the captain of the longship that is now probably sinking into the ocean, or has already sunk. So the party attacked. They put one of the frost giants down easily, and where we ended on last week is the frost giant started to stand back up and started to shamble around a bit. And it was revealed that a bandage had fallen off of the frost giant's hand to reveal a small bite, perhaps from a zombie orange peel that was directed and told to bite any frost giant that it was near. So
Sounded like a good idea at the time.
after
Molten's catchphrase.
After explaining all this, JJ, are you sure you want to come back?
No, I'll call it here. I'll be back next week.
Nice. I want to throw a big shout out to Argent Moore. Thanks for hanging out with us. Also, Cloppity. Thanks for jumping in on Twitch chat tonight. I'm trying to do a little bit differently and put it on my put the chat on my phone so I don't have too much pressure on my computer tonight, so you guys can enjoy hopefully a cleaner running stream. So, all right. So we're going to dive right back in, folks. Storm King's Thunder, episode 32. I'm pumped up about tonight. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, because you got, 8 frost giants.
I love it. So we got to change the music to start off this whole thing. This music is too light for what's happening. So we're going to put some better music on here. Let's go with this. Get something a little bit more action-packed. All right. As we start, Azkos starts to rise, wobbling back and forth, his eyes completely bloodshot, red around the frost giant's eyes, and he looks around. Looks to his right, looks to his left, looks down, sees his separated arm that was chopped off by Harshnag. Then he reaches down and picks his arm up with his other arm by his wrist, wielding it like a club, and starts to shamble down towards the group that is hiding behind these trees, being able to see all these horses. And he can lumber down. He kind of smashes over this tree down here at the bottom and gets all the way down here next to Ferris as he scrambles down here to the bottom. And he picks his arm high above his head and goes to slam it down onto Ferris, the female Zentrum guard. So here we go, folks. How's the volume level of the music, everybody? Is it too loud or is it okay? Okay, just want to make sure. And everybody at Twitch chat, if something's wrong with the volume, please let me know. All right, So here comes the first slam attack. And then immediately after slamming the Feris, it's going to slam the other way to the riding horse directly beside her. So here comes the first slam and then the second slam. And I believe that first one will hit. Let's double check. It just barely hits Feris as she tries to dodge out of the way and hide behind the tree, realizing the tree branches aren't nearly strong enough to stop this decapitated arm from coming down, this separated arm, and slams down on her for 13 bludgeoning damage as it slams down. And
We have
then
confirmation from Twitch chat. Audio's good.
Audio's good. Excellent. Thank you, guys. And another 13 to the horse as you hear the horse kind of call out, and as Askos pulls up the hand, the horse is just lying there, motionless.
You killed the horse?
The horse is no longer breathing, no longer moving. And it's
At
just,
least he didn't bite it.
and look, at least he didn't bite it. That's good. That's good. Zombie horse.
Fair point. Fair point.
And that's all Askos will do. And that will bring us to a zombie orange peel.
Who's still restrained and just gnawing at the air.
So yes, zombie orange peel continues to just bite out towards where the frost giants are standing and just really trying to loosen the ropes. Unfortunately, he's unable to do so. That's going to bring us to Sarvin. Sarvin kind of looking in panic as this frost giant has basically standing in front of him, wielding its one arm that was cut off last time we were together, is going to just kind of panic a little bit, take a step back, knock an arrow, and go ahead and fire 2 arrows at Askos. So we're going to go and get Sarvin to fire these off as he makes 2 longbow attacks. And both of those are going to hit for 7 and 7 as 2 arrows go just slamming into the side of this zombie frost giant. You hear the thuds of the arrows from a distance as they go thoop, thoop, into the side of the frost giant. Sarvin will back up just a little bit more and start to prepare some more arrows out of his quiver. At that point, that brings us to Diana.
Okay. Diana is still thinking about it. Okay, so I'm gonna go towards.
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to remind you, Diana, that you do have the natural 20 this week.
Yes.
And everyone else has DM's inspiration, so don't forget that you guys have that in your arsenal for tonight, okay?
I'm going to cast Channel Divinity towards the undead giant, and hopefully that is something. Yes.
Okay.
I harness light, banishing darkness, and dealing radiant damage to my foes. It's within 30 feet, so I'll move forward a little bit because I believe he's within 40. So I'll just scooch up a little bit.
Okay, Diana, are you still in the air too on
Yes.
Devaney? Okay.
So do I need to Pythagorean theorem this? Or,
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to get a little bit closer just because you're higher up too.
Okay,
It's
I'm
like
gonna.
math rolling it up,
Okay,
yes.
as soon as I'm out of range. too.
I'm not going to be like Matthew and have an exact decimal point, but you'll have to get a little bit closer.
Okay, I'm just gonna cast Channel Divinity, and any foe within it has to make a Constitution saving throw,
Okay.
and they have, a creature takes radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus your cleric level on a failed saving throw, half as much on a successful one.
All right. So a Constitution save then, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
2d10 plus. I'm at 6th level, right?
What is
Oh, I'm
your
echoing.
what was your DC again?
15.
So he just makes it.
Oh, dang it. Am I echoing? I can hear myself echoing.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I hear it. Well, he
Cheetos.
takes half
Oh,
of
whatever it was,
18.
it's been fixed.
Takes 9.
So he's going to take 9. Okay, so as you're gripping your holy symbol, Diana, and you just reaching out to Olmater to help you just annihilate this awful monstrosity that you see take form in front of you. The light just beams from your hands and just beams all around you. And you can see that the frost giant kind of almost holding up this severed arm like in front of his eyes to kind of shield away from this light as it sears against its flesh.
Can't see.
So he is going to take that 9 damage. Excellent.
Cool.
Anything else? Oh, and you're moving back? Is that what you're doing?
I move away from him.
Okay.
No, way out of the way.
And as Devaney continues to flap her wings, you see that she spins kind of round and takes an arc around the other side to move away.
Yes. And that is all.
Okay. Kentucky and his crew, mightily surprised by what is happening. Kentucky seems like he's in a little bit of a bind, as he's not sure what exactly to do, staring up at this awful creature. Ferris and Kentucky are going to just approach with their weapons drawn, and they are going to go ahead and take swings while the others try to attack with their crossbows. So we will have... Kentucky is going to make... Actually, Kentucky is going to draw both. He has a long sword and a short sword. And he's going to get to do 2 swipes with his long sword and a swipe with his short sword. So here comes the 2 long sword attacks and 1 with the short sword. Ferris takes her long sword and she's going to attack twice with on the other side with 2-handed. She tries to slash into the giant. You can watch, Diana, you see Kentucky coming up to the ankle of this zombie, and he's slashing into the ankle. You can see both the longsword attacks slice through, and then he drives the short sword into the back of the calf of the zombie. All 3 of his attacks meeting their marks.
Diana gains the tiniest bit of respect for Kentucky.
And you can see Kentucky is still bleeding from the boulder shot that he took. He doesn't look.
She don't
He
respect
still
you
doesn't.
that much.
He's being mighty brave in this situation, especially for losing his banjo. And
Lay on the hill like a Catholic grandmother.
Ferris is able to get 1 quick swipe with the longsword across the other ankle, but as the zombie frost giant starts to stumble a bit, she tries to take another shot, more like a piercing shot, jabbing in, and is unable to meet its mark. It kind of just grazes off the flesh, the tough flesh of the frost giant, not able to meet its mark. That brings us to all the rest who are going to just fire their heavy crossbows up towards it. So we've got 4 heavy crossbows coming from these guys. 2 of them striking on the left side. One of them goes flying over its head, and the other one goes soaring and sticking actually out of the armor that's still left on the frost giant. So you can see the 2 on the left side were able to meet their marks and holes in the armor, dealing 15 points of piercing damage to the zombie. And that ends, well, these 2, Zombo and Zitra, are going to take some steps back as they're kind of fleeing more into the wood. These guys are going to do the same as they see Devaney and Malik over here flying ahead. They're going to kind of move over to here. Ferris and Kentucky staying engaged. That brings us to the Lynx.
The Lynx is going to keep as long as it can Riding on the back of the saber-toothed tiger.
Yes, the lynx is currently on
Looking
top
up
of Callista.
Look, looking over the head at the same frost giant that Callista's looking at, just continue going.
Nice. I love it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Callista, that brings us up to you.
Okay. Well, I'm doing it. I'm going straight forward 20 feet onto this guy and trying to pounce on him.
Oh, excellent. Molfin, if you could keep the links, yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Nice.
There's a 12 hit.
As the saber-toothed tiger is leaping forward through the frozen tundra and jumps up towards the frost giant, you can see the frost giant gets kind of a jump on the situation, is able to kind of dodge to the side as your claws just barely graze its armor, and then you land right next to it. Yeah, I'm hearing a little mic static coming from
Oh, really?
somebody. Yeah, I'm not sure who it's coming from, but
Yeah, I can see it. Christie's lighting up when it's happening.
okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, no, it's not happening at all.
Yeah, now it's good.
It might be because my phone's right by it. I'll move my
Oh.
phone.
No, cool.
Maybe that's why.
What else would the saber-toothed tiger be doing? As the lynx is just gripping its claws into your back, trying to hold on during all this.
Not much. I'm just gonna kind of slide as I miss and turn, kind of Tokyo drift it and just stand my ground.
Sweet. yeah. There's these lines in the snow that slide.
Yeah, claws going into the snow,
Yes.
digging in for traction.
That's awesome. All right, that will bring us up to Ashlyn.
I'm gonna hold my action until Harshnag if you move.
Okay, until Harshnag. What?
Yeah.
Are you just holding your turn in general? Is that what you're going to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I don't know where he's moving to.
Good question. I'm not sure where he's moving to either, because he's got 3 in his sights. Do me a favor, Ashlyn. Go ahead and roll a D3 for us.
Oh.
We'll leave it up to the dice roll. See where, because he saw that one had put a net over top of Molfin last time, and he sees that Lachlan is trying to rush over and come to his aid, but he also sees this situation, and he's going to try to buy Lachlan some time. So he's going to march this way. He can get 40 feet towards this Ukras. So he's going to start to move that way. He runs past the dead bird. I'll move Ashlyn with him. And actually, I think he can get one more up here. And he has reach. Unfortunately, Ashlyn, you're still kind of out of the reach of this frost giant, but it's within Harshnag's reach. So he's going to go ahead and take 2 swipes at this frost giant, as he has his great axe ready to destroy. And he takes 2 slashes across
Yeah.
and strikes with both on this more elderly looking frost giant.
Whoa.
And does a massive amount of damage as Ashlyn, you witness the blood just squirting across the ground as he slashes across the chest of this frost giant. Ashlyn's been getting a front row seat for all of this. Come on, let me just do the quick edit here. Opera, there you go. Thank you. So the impact is just immense as Harshnag slashes across. You can see the Ashlyn, this frost giant, just kind of reaches up, grabbing the wounds, blood pouring over his hand and his wrist as the wounds are just pouring across his chest with those 2 big swipes that Harshnag made. What would you like to do now, Ashlyn?
Am I too close for a longbow attack?
Technically not.
Okay, so I'll do 2 of those.
Okay. Oh, and as this giant is like stumbling back, this blood you see 2 arrows just go thoo, thoo, right into the front arm that he's holding over the wounds. So they both meet their mark as Ashlyn is just quickly firing these into the forearm for another 14 points of damage. As the giant continues to fall back a little bit. And closer, you can see that this giant has definitely has more age than the rest of the crew, but is bleeding terribly. Anything else you'd like to do, Ashlyn?
I'm gonna taunt it and be like, "Hey, Oldie McOldface, yeah, you. We're gonna like kill you soon, cause you're too old." That didn't make any sense.
That'll do it.
Very, very nice, Ashlyn.
Lachlan feels inspired.
Yeah, you tried.
And that brings us to Mulfin, who is currently trapped under a large net.
Mulfin is looking around, seeing the giant run by, seeing Lachlan beside him, but not aiding with getting the net, is just irritable and just start mumbling to himself once more with what little movement he has under this net, reaching for his quarterstaff and casting a spell
Okay.
on the net itself
Okay.
What?
and raising it
Oh, yeah.
just enough off the ground. Like, basically, think of it like sitting up in bed, pulling the blankets off.
Yeah.
So raising that one side off of Mulfin, almost making like a wall between him and the giant that just did this.
That is brilliant. Brilliant.
Wow.
And you guys,
Wow.
Lachlan, you watch this happen as you're kind of getting yourself prepared to do what you need to do to free Mulfin. And then all of a sudden, you see the net just start to rise on its own. And it starts to tilt. And there's now a wall of net, like right in front of you and Mulfin, separating you guys from the frost giant. So you
Mage hand thumbs up.
Mage hand thumbs up. There it is. Mulfin, what else would you like to do? You can still move if you'd like.
Yep, so I'm assuming with that net, it knocked me prone, right?
It did knock
I
you
would
prone.
assume.
Yeah, so you'd have to spend half your
Okay,
movement
so
to stand. Yes.
Half my movement to get up. And then with a quick mental command as a bonus action to my zombies in the area, untie the ropes or try to break the ropes or untie the ropes, get rid of the ropes.
Okay.
Wolfen is going to use what little movement he's got left
Oh no.
to start heading southbound away, but
Okay.
leaving that maintaining concentration on that on that net he just stood up.
Okay. Excellent.
And picture somewhere probably like, I'm guessing, I don't know how big it is, but
Yeah, it'd probably be
assume
about that
something like
size.
that.
Yeah, that would be good. Excellent. Thanks for putting that on there. That's awesome. Yeah, so Mulfin starts to kind of backpedal a little bit. As he's got he's kind of got his hand kind of reached out towards that net as he's backpedaling, keeping that net up. And that brings us to you don't want to you don't want to do anything with a bonus action or anything, Mulfin, at this point.
the bonus action was telling the zombies to deal with the ropes.
All right, gotcha.
Wait, to what?
As a bonus action for because of Animate Dead, I can use a bonus action to mentally command any zombies I control in the area and give them a command.
Okay.
So instead of telling zombies to try to bite the giants, now I'm saying untie the ropes, get yourself free.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, the elder frost giant up here, Ukras, seeing that he's got Harshnag right there in front of him. What weapon is he wielding? I'm gonna double check. Oh, he's
I
got
should've been
a
like
great
poop cross,
axe.
More like poop cross.
Nice. Nice.
I'll say that extra.
All right, Ukras moves forward with his great axe, and he's going to take 2 swipes at Harshnag as he is kind of regaining his composure. He's got some anger in his eyes and takes 2 swipes. And as he swings, the first one, Harshnag, dodges out of the way from the slash as it comes swinging by. Then Ukras, quickly regaining his ground, trying to keep one arm on the wounds, arrows sticking out of those that same arm, takes his great axe, goes to slash across, and it just scrapes across the armor of Harshnag. And Harshnag just looks at him and says, pitiful.
I love you.
And then you start to see it, Ashlyn. A twinkle of fear starts to arise in the eyes of Ukras, the frost giant in front of you. And that brings us to Deshara, who continues to fly here south on top of Screecher with Quinn and Gizzard in tow. She is going to fly towards this other frost giant over here, Rebrog. And she heads over, and she's going to kind of sweep over the top, and she's going to give Quinn and Gizzard the command to dive down and attack the frost giant. And she's going to take a shot with her heavy crossbow from the top as Gizzard and Quinn both come down, and they try to claw and bite at the frost giant as well. So let's go ahead and make her Deshara's heavy crossbow attack comes flying, and finally she's able to connect with one of these guys as a crossbow bolt goes piercing in to the giant's flesh. And then you see Quinn and Gizzard flapping down, quickly diving down towards the frost giant with beaks and claws ready to gash into this frost giant. The first one makes a beak and a claw attack.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes. Gizzard takes a bite out of the frost giant and just pierces away, trying to claw as well, but it's so like, it's kind of almost like the teeth sunk in, the beak sunk in so good that it was unable to he was unable to make connection with the claws. Rips a chunk of flesh out of the frost giant and he begins to fly out of range and away, taking damage. The other one, Quinn, dives down, beak and claw. This time, Quinn tries to bite and just gets basically a mouthful of armor, but he's able to slash across with the claws, dealing 10 points. So 20 points of damage. And as Quinn starts to leave from, kind of swing back around, flapping its wings, Rebrog reaches up and tries to take an opportunity attack against Quinn with this giant stone hammer that he has in his hand, and takes a swing at Quinn. Is Lennon the one who plays Quinn on Monday night?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, Lennon. In advance. As the stone hammer strikes Quinn dead on the side for 30 bludgeoning.
Holy.
Quinn, you see Quinn stumble just a bit through the air, flapping its wings more abruptly, but then all of a sudden he regains his composure and is able to move on, but it looks like it just kind of looks like one of his legs, the cat legs in the back, is just kind of like hanging there as he's flying away from this frost giant. They moved about, let's see, I want to make sure I've got some measurement. They moved about 50 so feet to get there, so they got about 30 feet left. They can get a little bit farther away from the giant as they move back, so they're able to get about there, and they're also flying upwards to about a 30 feet range. So they'll be right about there. That brings us to that exact giant, Rebrog, who is looking towards Deshara and throws a rock. Actually, he's going to throw the rock at Screecher to try to knock them out. out of the sky. So here comes a thrown rock as it goes flying towards. It reaches down, picks up a rock, and as the rock is thrown, it must have been a dud rock because it starts to fall to pieces in midair. And you see pieces of the rock just like start to fall. It must have been the wrong kind of stone. And you see him just get frustrated and just slam his foot down onto the ground. And then he starts to run more towards, like looking up at Screecher, kind of like reaching up, trying to reach up and try to grab them out of the sky, but they're just out of his reach. That brings us to Lachlan.
All right. I'm firing at what's his name? His name is
Ukras.
Ukras. Yeah.
Ukras.
He's going down.
Wow.
That probably hits.
Yeah, and I think you're within range if you're using that spyglass. 10 to 40 is your
and I've
sneak
got
attack.
an ally. Yeah, within 25.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess there's the shot and the old sneaky.
Wow. You did that with advantage too, right? So it was the crit? Is that correct or no?
I don't think I have advantage. I just get sneak attack.
You just get sneak attack. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, but still, you strike. You see Ukras just after he made those two swipes at Harshnag, kind of starting to have that fear. Then all of a sudden, that crossbow bolt goes right into his side, dealing another 18 points of damage. Ashlyn, he's not looking very good as you're getting a look. Lachlan, would you like to move as well?
I'm gonna just move like a little bit away from this net because I'm a little spooked out by what Gramps is cooking up there. He's had some pretty wild ideas lately, and I don't want to be caught in any of it. So.
No. Lachlan, you're
Okay, scratch that plan. The person I've been speaking to understands. Scratch that plan. Another one.
Yeah, as you're kind of flying away on the back of Solana, your mage hand is just like massaging your back a little bit. Just and I forgot to remove this next one from the order, so I'm going to remove the bird. And that takes us to the one that's kind of engaged with Callista right now. So, Grumir is going to look towards Callista. And he has a massive great axe in his hand, and he's going to try to take 2 swipes at the saber-toothed tiger that has tried to leap onto him and claw him to bits. So here he goes with 2 great axes coming right at you. His voice tries to swipe down towards you and misses terribly as the saber-toothed tiger pounces out of the way. The great axe drives into the ground beside you. He picks it up, tries to swipe again to the side, and rolls a 13.
That just hits.
Just hits, okay. I didn't know if that hit you or not. So the great axe, as it slashes across the front of you, deals 22 points of slashing damage, cutting through the front of your fur, halved because you have the potion of invulnerability. So only 11 points of slashing damage. As you can feel
I'm hurt, but it's okay.
You can feel it carve into you, but it definitely doesn't hurt you as much as you would originally have thought. And he kind of gives an odd look as some of the blood starts to leak down the front of your cat-like figure. And that brings us to Azkos.
I'm gonna keep making funny names.
The zombie frost giant is just shambling, looking around. He sees Kentucky slashing at his legs and Faris slashing at his legs. He's going to do the same thing. One shot is going to go down towards Kentucky, and the other shot is going to go to Faris as he is slamming this severed arm down onto both of them. First one to Kentucky is going to strike him. And the second one is going to strike Faris as well, as the slam attack comes down on Kentucky, dealing 9 points of bludgeoning damage as he is slammed pretty heavy. You see him stumble a bit, but surprisingly enough, Kentucky is holding his composure and standing tall in the midst of the battle. Faris gets slammed, this time for 13 points of bludgeoning damage as the arm kind of slams into her. She stumbles against a tree and regains her balance. Starting to show a little wear and tear is Faris, as she's got bruises and bumps and blood starting to pour from the top of her head. Ascos will stay there, and Zombie Orange Peel is going to start to try to get out of his ropes. So go ahead and make, I guess this would be a strength check for Zombie Orange Peel.
What?
The dice are working in Zombie Orange Peel's favor tonight, as Zombie Orange Peel just this little halfling zombie. All of a sudden, this elderly halfling zombie all of a sudden gets this surge of power and energy through and goes, and the ropes just break and fall to his feet as he's standing against this horse tying post next to Deshar's estate. He is no longer restrained, Molfin.
Oh my god.
Unleash the beast. Are you muted, Matthew?
Yes, I had to mute. I was cackling too loud. Oh, that was straight up like psychotic comic villain. Oh. I don't know if he would move after that, though, where I didn't give him, explicit instructions afterwards to move.
Is that what the spell says, that you have to give it?
Oh, let me double check.
Or he would just move towards probably the closest living creature, being a zombie.
So it says,
Yeah. They shamble.
Yeah,
if you issue no commands, the creature defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, it continues until task is complete. So,
awesome. You can go ahead and move him towards just towards towards everybody down here to you can move him the southwest, I guess, his movement.
Yeah, well,
but then pretty much his action and movement would be over from there.
Yeah, so I'll have him go a little more west than south because he's the closest person.
Okay.
And that puts him over there. That'll end him.
All right. So now we go to Sarvin, who down here is kind of moving back from Ascos, the zombie, and he gets ready to fire 2 more arrows towards this creature, and the longbow goes flying. You can see the first one just misses over top of his right shoulder, and the second one just catches him in a spot that's kind of weak in his armor on the side, and he's able to get 1 hit to meet for 7 points of piercing damage as the arrow drives in. You can see that Diana could probably see this. Some of the others can see that he's just a little bit frustrated with those 2 shots, and he's going to stay put, kind of take a knee, and get ready to reload. Lachlan. All of a sudden, you catch out of your peripheral vision, this flash of light. Greenish light that flashes from your left side. And as you look to the left, you can see all these tiny things flying in the air near you, probably about maybe 15 feet to your left. All these small, and then as you see them, they look like little ravens. They're just flying. And then they start to coalesce, and they start to take form. And then, as some of them just start to merge together into this black kind of mass standing in front of you, see they start to take a humanoid-looking shape. And then you also see more of these ravens kind of starting to take another a little bit bigger of a shape next to it. And then all of a sudden, as this finishes, Lachlan, beside you, you can see there are 2 creatures. One of them is Moby. The same Moby that you had seen in the Shadowfell with all black armor, all black, jet black hair, pale
That hair
skin.
looks so good.
But beside him is this interesting miniature-looking elephant that has this kind of cloth over its back and a little saddle on the top.
Oh, that's so cute.
And Moby is standing there holding this creature by reins, looking at you, and then looking at the chaos that's ensuing around.
I shrug.
Moby, it's your turn.
I am not drawing an elephant. It's not happening.
It's canon now. You gotta do it.
So,
okay.
Moby, it's your turn.
So I'm here. Oh, all right.
As you have just appeared in this current situation that you find your friends.
I'm not even really going to acknowledge Lachlan whatsoever. As soon as I see what's going on, Moby's going to jump up onto the back of this kind of small pink elephant thing.
Isn't a heffalump?
All right, you should have control of both of those tokens too, so I hope it works out for you.
Beautiful. So for the sake of this, are we assuming that the elephant and I go on the same?
Yeah,
initiative?
I'm going to do that. I had them initially on different counts, but if you're on his back, we're going to say that's how we'll do it. I like that. That's much easier. I'm just going to get rid of his initiative on the tracker.
Wonderful.
All right.
So, once Moby jumps up on the back of this tiny pink elephant, the elephant's going to charge at the closest giant, I guess.
Okay. The closest giant would probably be this elderly one, about 25 feet to the north of you.
This one?
That's engaged with
Beautiful.
Harshnag. Yep. All right. So
All right, so the elephant starts to charge.
So
I'm
you see,
single.
Lachlan, you watch as Moby leaps onto the back of the saddle and kind of does the kick on the back of the elephant, and the elephant just starts to charge onto this this elderly frost giant that looks like it's been taking a beating.
I'm just staring.
And when the when the elephant's in melee range, it's gonna make a gore attack.
All right. As it tries to gore it with its tusks, and it does, right into the shins of the frost giant. Go elephant, gore those shins, Mogwai. You can All right, let's see damage. Oh, there we go. Yeah, definitely. As the elephant slams its tusks into the frost giant just all of a sudden just like looks down and goes, "Oh!" Grabs its shin and starts like with both hands kind of doing that one-legged bounce around kind of thing as it slams into his shins for 9 points. Goodness.
And I can do that with a little special elephant feature. I don't think I'm gonna knock a giant prone, but
DC strength saving throw. All right.
Oh my gosh.
For some reason, it's not letting me select this token. Web browsers. I love them not. As it's not letting me... Wait, here we go. Let's see if I can grab it now. Yes! Finally! Haha! It's DM's fault, not the web browser's fault.
At least the DM can admit it.
I will admit it. I'm not... I don't boast. I'm not prideful on that. All right, so trampling charge. So as this happens and he reaches up, he's got to try to hold his ground as the miniature pink elephant slams into him. So that's a strength saving throw for a frost giant. My goodness, I can't believe this is happening. Saving throws. Well, we'll see. He fails.
He fails.
Oh my god.
Oh my!
Wow. What an entrance.
So as Ukros reaches down, grabs his shins, he slips a little bit on the frozen tundra underneath his feet and slams down on the ground right in front of Harshnag. And you can see Harshnag start to rub his hands together like this. As the
Alright, this is too good. As a bonus action, this elephant gets to make a quick stomp attack.
Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead and make
This is
the.
what my elf
Oh,
did, yes.
but this. Oh, and that's advantage. It's advantage because he's
Oh, yeah.
prone.
It's advantage because it's prone.
So so your elephant just leaps up and slams its elephant feet down onto the Ukros. Go ahead and roll your damage.
You can just click on it. Or that
Okay.
too.
There you go. And this one does even more than the gore attack did, as you're just it's just stomping on like part of the side of the rib cage of this frost giant. So and you can see like your elephant is actually hitting parts of Harshnag's deep wounds that he already put in there, and it's even causing more worse for wear. Thank you guys for the bits. 20 sides to every story. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining the adventure. This
Thanks for stopping by.
yeah. Ukros is looking in very bad shape. He is still alive, but there is blood just pouring out all over to the snow that he is laying in right now. And he looks absolutely stunned that a little pink elephant has taken him down to the ground. How can this happen? Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Moby?
Well, that was Mogwai's turn. So, yeah, I'll take a few swipes at him with the whip. It comes off the holster and just whip down onto it.
All right. That whip will strike him. And go ahead and describe this death for us, Moby.
Wow. What an entrance.
Until it rises again.
All right, so with this pink elephant stomping on the midsection of this giant, Moby reaches down to this little holster he has, flips open the buckle, and just pulls out a whip, and with just like razor-like precision, just whips it down into this giant's face, and the end of the whip actually pierces the eye, and the giant just goes limp.
Nice. You can, yeah, Lachlan, you watching this, and you're actually shocked by this because if you
I covered my griffin's eyes.
because you guys remember Moby. He was always the one that was trying to get these like ogres to like do his bidding, just so he didn't have to kill them. And now he just whips out this, and the whip looks like it's not like this brown whip that he had before. It's like this black kind of whip that he's got that has a little bit of tied to the back of it. He's got like these black feathers that dangle from the back of it too. It looks pretty sweet. It'd be a whip that you would want Lachlan to use if you were a whip user.
Dark Moby is so cool.
Dark Moby is cool. All right, so that brings us to Diana.
Having finished writing her letter to her church, which I canonically just did. It's like literally 20 paragraphs. It's amazing. I feel like I should get a nat 20 for it. I'm gonna send it to you. It's like pretty poppin'.
Awesome.
I'm going to travel 30 feet ahead, so that way I can get close enough. I can get within 60 feet. I think that this is about right. 60 feet of homeboy right there, the big ol' one. Which one's the leader? That's the leader one, right? This
one that I'm attacking.
Yeah,
Right
the one that the saber-tooth tiger's trying to.
him.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Okay. I would like to cast Fairy Fire on him.
All right, that's a saving throw for him, right?
Yeah, dexterity.
Dexterity saving throw. Yeah. Let's see how he does. He does not succeed. So,
Damn. We all have advantage now.
so
Yes,
as
thank you.
Diana, again reaching to her holy symbol, calls out to Ilmater to illuminate this terrible creature, to help her friends to be able to defeat this terrible foe. And you can see saber-toothed tiger Callista. All of a sudden, this yellowish, holy glow starts to erupt from all around this giant. He kind of looks down at his arms, kind of questioning why. He's wondering why he's got this holy glow to him. And he is now fairy fired. I'm going to make sure I put a little symbol here. We'll put a yellow little dot there. Hopefully I can remember that. Yep. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll go in here to his character, and I'll put a nice yellow aura around him.
Ooh, pop it.
Yeah, there we go. We'll do a big one. We'll put it right there. Boom! Look at that. Oh, I don't want it to be square. I want it to be square. That's better. There.
It's so funny because Ashlyn just said that my lighting gives me a yellow hue around me, so it's like doubly holy. And I remember I cast thaumaturgy, so I did make my lighting better for my character.
Oh yeah. You
I
kind
want
of
her to have that glowy.
You burst through the fog with these the wings of the griffin swooshing behind you. This silhouette and shiny light just coming back from just every word you say is amplified. It's awesome.
Looking like a right and proper goddess, as I should.
Anything else you can do, Diana?
There is nothing else I can do. I can just, let me move back a little bit so I'm not directly within his range.
Okay, so...
Oh, and I'm also at armor class 17 because I'm up 2 points because of Shield of Faith. Shield of Faith just dropped because I put Fairy Fire. Never mind, I'm back to 15.
I was gonna say, is Shield of Faith concentration?
Yep.
Okay, so your Shield of Faith would have disappeared as soon as you casted that spell and concentrate on the Fairy Fire.
Never mind.
All right, Kentucky is going to try to take some more swipes at Askos. So he is standing his ground, and he is going to take 2 long sword attacks and 1 short sword coming at him. And the first long sword, as he's stumbling back from that damage he took, he tries to lunge forward and is unable to make his mark, but then he slashes back across and hits for 11 and then jams the short sword back into the side. So 20 more points of damage to the zombie frost giant as it starts to sway a little bit, as it's just blood is just pouring out of both of his shins as these guys are just hacking away down below. The other one, Ferris, is going to take 2 two-handed longsword attacks, slashing through. And I need to make a roll very quickly.
Uh-oh.
But I want to double check in my monster manual here. Because this zombie now has undead fortitude.
Oh no, I was just thinking that.
Oh.
I knew that's what you were looking up. How did I know?
Do you need the info on it? I have it on Zombie Orange.
It's a Constitution saving throw DC 5 plus the damage taken. So it's going to be a 17 for its Constitution save. Let's see if it can do it. And it fails.
Yes.
So as Ferris takes her longsword in both hands, kind of goes, just jams the sword into the back of the giant's leg. You see the zombie frost giant kind of lumber back and forth and then fall forward into the trees, knocking a few of them over as it falls face down and does a face plant into the ground. The zombie giant is no more. As all the rest of the Zentrum guards yell out a big cheer towards Ferris for taking the last striking blow. That brings us to the Lynx, who's holding on to the back of the saber-toothed tiger, staring up at a now glowing massive frost giant.
So, I want the Lynx to try to climb up the front of the giant's armor and basically just take the take the help action, try to distract the giant, like try to climb up towards its face or something just to irritate the heck out of it.
Excellent. Callista, you will have advantage on your first attack against this frost giant.
I think I only get one attack.
Okay.
I don't think she gets multi.
Okay, so you'll have advantage on it because of this lynx is now crawling up this.
Well, I also have advantage because fairy fire.
Actually, you know what? Do this. Let's go ahead and make, since it's crawling up, let's go ahead and make a strength check for your lynx to climb. This frost
Actually,
giant.
that's a good point. We had advantage
We have
anyway.
fairy fire on that one.
Oh yeah, you had fairy fire anyway. Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna give you. Yeah, you're gonna have advantage on this check. I'm gonna give you advantage anyway because of the fairy fire is gonna help you out with that too.
That's a good thing. It's just a 3.
Oh.
But I don't mean a +3. It's literally a 3.
Oh yeah. So basically, what happens is your lynx is attached to the frost giant, but was unable to climb the whole way to the top. So wouldn't be able to really take the help action, but is a little distracting. But he's not really worried about this little lynx attached to his thigh right now. It's kind of like
18 hit.
an 18 will hit, and the saber-toothed tiger leaps up, kind of past where the lynx is, and just drives both claws into this frost giant for 12 slashing, kind of ripping down the front of the frost giant, tearing into.
Letting gravity do the most of the work.
Yeah, letting gravity. It's like ripping down, kind of like a cat ripping a curtain down the front. That's awesome. Anything else you'd like to do, Callista?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. So the saber-toothed tiger continues to stay engaged with this frost giant. Ashlyn.
I'm gonna hold my turn, but I'm also gonna say, "Hi, cousin Moby. Hi, cousin Moby's pink elephant," and then I'm gonna like get that already.
Nice. All right, Harshnag, seeing this new individual, looks to Ashlyn. You know that guy and that elephant?
Not the elephant, the guy. He's my cousin.
Oh, you don't know the elephant?
Not yet.
Oh, I thought it was, kind of like the whole Ferguson deal.
Oh, you mean Ferguson? Yeah, he's great. Yeah, no, he's new, but I can't wait to be friends with him.
Oh, great. Me too.
Okay.
He turns around and looks and sees that there is this other frost giant over here. But as he's doing that, he's hearing from behind where Ukros just fell, the crushing of trees from the light foliage behind Deshara's residence.
What?
As you realize that, and he begins to realize that other frost giants from the north that were walking around looking might be on their way. So he's actually going
You said they were far away!
They're pretty far. But he's going to kind of look at you, Ashlyn, and he's going to say, "I will stop them from the north." And he's going to grab you, and he's going to put you down on the ground. And he looks at you, and he's like, "Help your friends."
I will. You come back now, okay?
I will.
Okay.
And he just like cracks his knuckles, grabs his great axe, puts it over his shoulder, and he starts to run towards the north.
Okay.
And takes off this way. Now, if you'd like to take your turn, you can go ahead and take your turn, Ashlyn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go run to this dude and take 2 swipes at him.
All right.
And then...
Nice.
Yes, and they're both with advantage because he's fairy fire due to Diana's spell, so you definitely hit on both of those. As the quarterstaff meets its mark, you jam in the quarterstaff and hit with both. You can see it whips its head around towards you, Ashlyn, looking down at you as you make those swipes.
I haven't thought a name for you yet, have I? Oh no, you're Poop Face, aren't you? I can't remember. You all sound the same. Okay. And then I'm gonna Google martial arts.
Oh, some martial arts. Yes, that will definitely strike. What kind of martial arts are you gonna do for this, Ashlyn? What's your move?
I'm just gonna go, hi-ya.
Are you gonna do like a karate chop, chopping along?
Right in the back of the knee.
What's amazing is that all of your like regular like attacks without your weapon do more damage than your weapon does. It's kind of it's remarkable.
I don't know how that works at all.
So you slam it as he looking around. He sees the end of your arm coming at him. Ho-ya! Chopping in the back of his shin. Yeah, Grumir.
No, Poomir.
Poomir. You will pay for this.
No, I won't. You're on my tab, buddy.
You just see him like get an awful evil look in his eyes and he grumbles towards you. And that brings us to Molfin.
Okay, so we're gonna see
Molfin, you saw Moby and that elephant as you were backing away from your net. You saw it all happen.
Molfin's just not even prepared to deal with him at this point. So he is going to walk a little closer to this one that's currently involved with, the lynx on the thigh, cousin, and Sabretooth. And then looking at the net that's currently levitating in sort of a wall form, get an idea.
Oh no.
Ulfin is going to reach out and cast Mage Hand. And with the Mage Hand, grab one corner of the net, which he can move 30 feet in a turn.
Okay.
And start dragging the net. Oh, it's not technically a token, it's a drawing. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is... I want to drag it up over the giant's head.
Okay.
And just let go.
Okay.
Have Mage Hand let go of it and drop concentration on Levitate so it just falls on his head.
Okay, so...
Wow.
Amazing. Every week. It never ceases to amaze me. See my notes. I'm just gonna throw them. I don't even need them. Don't even need. Who cares? Don't even.
It's scaring me, Matthew. I don't want you in my one shot anymore. Get out! Get out!
Man. So, you guys are watching as Molfin is holding his hand, concentrating. He's lifting. Now all of a sudden, his mage hand is reaching and grabbing this net and pulling the net as he's concentrating on the levitation. And then all of a sudden, he just stops, and the net just falls over top of the giant's head. Let me see something really quick because I don't even know what happens. I apologize in advance to everybody out there on Twitch for what my party does to me sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah, every week.
Every
week. It's the
I'd
same
like to
thing.
thank my secret source for the inspiration for that idea.
Well. Do me a favor, Molfin. Roll a d20 and do and add 5 to the roll.
Okay.
As the net falls on top of the giant, Ashlyn and Callista, you watch as the giant loses its balance and is now prone and restrained under the net.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna put a and
Oh my god.
but also the lynx is also prone
So
and under the net.
Oh my god. I expected, maybe knock the helm over the eyes or something.
I
So
checked.
blinded too? Aren't you?
It's restrained and prone under this net.
Wow.
That's amazing. I didn't
Well, we know where the nat 20 is going tonight.
Anything else you'd like to do, Mulfin, or are you done with this fiasco?
Oh my god.
With my bonus action, just mentally telling Orange Peel to get to the nearest zombie and nearest giant and start attacking.
Okay.
No, not biting.
No!
What? Yeah.
No,
What?
attacking.
Attacking with.
Attacking, not bite.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
the instruction is
yeah.
attacking.
Okay. We just want to be clear. That's all.
No more biting.
Wolfen doesn't know that. He has no idea there's a zombie behind him.
Ashlyn and Callista, go ahead and make perception
Yeah.
checks.
Okay.
Ukros is dead. I'm gonna remove him from the
I
board.
did not do well.
Okay. Yeah. That's not. Yeah. You did not do well.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah, neither of you really did well, so I'm not gonna. Yeah, we're just gonna go to Deshara's turn.
Okay.
Great.
As
Oh,
Deshara sees that this Rebrog is chasing after her, she's still out of his reach, just barely, as she's flying on the back of Screecher. So she's gonna continue to move away just a little bit, and she's gonna take another shot at Rebrog with her heavy crossbow. So as she looses that and critical hits him right in the face. Unfortunately, she rolled poorly.
Wow.
So a shot right to the face, only dealing 6 piercing damage, and continues to fly, telling Quinn to retreat behind Screecher, but giving Gizzard a command to make another round and swing around to Rebrog to do some damage. How far can these guys go?
80.
They can go all the way over to here. So they're gonna fly all the way to. They can get to here, right past Diana. They swoop by past Diana. How high are you in the air on Devonay, Diana?
I think if you-
To be within range, but as high as I can be to be without a range.
Okay.
Bouncing, always moving.
So 30 feet, 40 feet. 60
sure,
feet.
If that's out of range of any giants throwing rocks at me.
Well, giants have a pretty good range on the rocks. You're not really sure how good of a range, but you've seen them throw rocks and they can launch them pretty far.
I must say I moved back up to 60 feet.
Okay, 60. So
It's
they
like I'm
actually,
moving out of range.
you actually watch. They kind of almost swoop kind of under you, about 30 to 35 feet, and they just kind of flying.
Ooh, that's
Screecher
cool.
and Quinn. You can see Quinn's like kind of like dragging through the midair. One of his legs isn't kind of. It doesn't look very good. Gizzard makes a swing around and swoops back down, doing a dive towards Rebrog, and tries to bite and claw again as this griffin comes down. Here comes the bite. And here comes the claws. The bite strikes again as Gizzard gets a nice bite again. And the claws come down to rip through as well. So Gizzard making his presence felt against this giant. Because that's what Gizzard does.
Yes.
But as Gizzard tries to get away, the stone hammer is going to reach out again for another attack of opportunity against Gizzard, and we will see how the stone hammer does as he swings up towards the griffin and strikes Gizzard for a huge impact. This time only dealing 21 bludgeoning, though, as slams kind of in the tail end of Gizzard a little bit, giving him a little bit of a boost into the air. As he starts to flutter a little bit, you can hear the screech of pain from Gizzard as Gizzard is ended up going to fly. He's going to get about right here, about 30 feet in the air. And that will bring us up to this giant Rebrog, who starts to run, and as he runs, he finds another stone on the ground. He pulls it up from the rocky tundra, and he throws it towards Gizzard. And the rock is hurled through the air. And I don't know if that's going to hit. Oh, I accidentally closed that character sheet. I'm gonna have to find it again.
Griffin AC.
Yeah, I can't remember the AC of the Griffin. I don't know why I closed it by accident.
Star manual.
It's not 12
Here we
on
go.
there.
I found it. It is 12, so
Nice.
that is still,
not nice, at the
yeah,
14.
still gonna hit. It's still gonna hit for
Look, Gizzard.
34 bludgeoning damage. Oh my goodness! As the rock hits Gizzard, you can see that Gizzard starts to do this kind of like spin out of control. The feathers are starting to fall from his wings, and you see him start to. But then, almost about when he gets about 10 feet, you can see his wings start flapping again. And Gizzard is disoriented and flying back and forth to and fro, but he looks very, very hurt. As-
SG,
as-
just cheered for his death.
As Gizzard is struggling, but he is still alive. And that brings us to Lachlan.
All right. That one that just attacked Gizzard, I'm gonna go ahead and fire the crossbow at it from here. I think it's. Yeah, I'm in a good range there.
Yeah, you're in range.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as he released that, you saw Gizzard kind of regain its composure. You fire this, and the giant wasn't even paying attention to you, and you strike him right in the shoulder area, up by the neck, as you're aiming up towards him. He kind of looks over towards you, seeing where the shot came from, and just gives you this terrible look, Lachlan.
I just sort of like, and then end turn.
You see him like look over to you, he points to you, he's like, "I smash you!"
Oh, I'd like to see it try.
Gnome smack talk is always great. All right, anything else, Lachlan?
No, end turn.
All right, Grumir is restrained and under one of his own giant nets. So he is going to try to get out of the giant net, and I've got to see how he has to do that, because I think it's pretty tough. All right, he's going to make a strength check to see if he can throw the net off from him. So he's going to try to just use all of his strength. So, Callista and Ashlyn, he actually is kind of like face down under this net, and he's trying to like push up off the ground. He's going, and you see the lynx is kind of off to the side, and it's just meowing beside him as he's really trying to push, and he just keeps sliding on the ice underneath. He's unable to get a good grip, and he just like plops right back down. He's unable to do anything. That was his action, so his turn ends. Askos is dead. So that brings us to Zombie Orange Peel.
Okay, he is going to continue on his merry way with his 20 feet movement, and he is not the brightest, so he is going to end up entering that difficult terrain. So now it's it's half movement to go through there, right? I guess double movement.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to make that. Oh, there we go. Now I can see it. There we go. What was your question again? Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to make your token show up.
Oh, no worries. So this like rough patch that Callista created with like the earth pillars, the earth bending, it's difficult terrain for him, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that ends his movement. He's just still actually. He can take the dash action to get closer, couldn't he?
He could. Yeah.
Just to continue his path. I mean, it's only
Just-
going to get him. And only get him that much closer, but
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
just continuing the path to get to the closest giant to start attacking.
And do me a favor. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me, Mulfin.
Oh.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Oh no.
Don't you love it when your dungeon master does crap like that?
Oh.
No. I'm gonna do it to you, Michael. Just you wait.
I'm ready for it, Christy. I'm ready for it.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
So zombie orange peel's turn ends, and that brings us to Sarvin, who is seeing this chaos. Decides to go ahead and grab Jolin, put him on the back of this riding horse with him. They mount this riding horse, and he will get to move half the riding horse's movement, which I believe is 50 feet? 60 feet. So they're going to move 30 feet towards the action. So you get them right about there. And
Do we see them approaching?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Alrighty.
Anybody who would like to, you can.
Ooh, I'll jump in on that. Because why not?
Lachlan, you do not. You're
Okay.
busy.
Looking through my scope.
Callista, you can start to hear the clopping of the hooves. Yeah, basically everybody except for Lachlan.
I wanted to know.
Can see Sarvin. Sarvin has one hand way out to the side holding his longbow. He's got this intense look on his dragonborn face. He's still wearing his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type mask that I believe Mulfin made for him as he's marching ahead. You can see that Jolin Orangepeel is on the front, and everybody except for Lachlan notices his face. And it is like of shock, horror, disbelief on his face as his eyes are wide and his mouth is just wide open as he's staring, and he's seeing something moving through these earth-bended, rough terrain pillars. And that's going to bring us to Moby.
All right. So, me and this cute little pink elephant gonna get up within 10 feet of this thing, this big giant on the ground.
Right? You could just hear this giant like roaring and trying to just do whatever it can to get up under this net.
I'm riding this elephant like a horse, you know, like a rider. You know, I'm kind of standing up a little bit. I'm, you know, smacking
Yeah.
his butt. Whatever I need to do to get there faster.
Nice. All right.
Along the way, as a bonus action,
Okay.
I don't know why it's not coming up.
It'll be
It'll
there.
get there. It'll get there.
Big shout out to our viewers tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. This is episode
That's not what I wanted.
32. Branding Smite. That's not what you wanted?
There you go. I'll just copy and paste the description for you. It's
Okay.
a bonus action to cast.
Put the spell in as a weapon. So is that what, is it Branding Smite? Is that what you're casting?
Yes. As a bonus
Okay.
action.
Oh, so
Wow.
for the spell, a weapon gleams with an astral radiance. Excellent. So you guys, as Moby's approaching on the back of this elephant, riding it like a cowboy would ride a horse, you can see that the whip is starting to glow with this greenish energy as he is muttering something under his breath.
And seeing as I'm within 10 feet and whip is a reach weapon, I'm going to take a couple of whips at this giant on the ground.
You will have advantage because he is prone and fairy fired.
Oh my god.
Those will both hit. So your first attack is the one that deals the radiant damage, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
we'll just have that 7, I guess.
So as the whip strikes down onto the back of the giant, you see this flash of green light as the impact meets its mark. So there's 5 for the whip itself. And then the
Well, I
radiant,
guess we'll just have the 7. Yeah, just have the 7 up there.
the 7 from the top. So yeah, additional 7 as the
And
then the second whip also strikes as you bring it back up.
and
and
this
slam.
one I am going to give him throw a little divine smite on him.
On top of it.
Second level. Second level.
Nice. Oh, paladins, I tell you.
Oh
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
As this second whip starts to crash down, you can see Moby is still uttering things under his breath. You can see black feathers just start to peel off of the whip as it's coming down and start to just feather fall gently to the sides. And as the whip cracks, you hear the call of a crow, of the raven, just lash out as it makes impact. You can hear just this giant like billowing as it's trying to get out from underneath the net, being attacked by all these people. My goodness, good round there, Moby. Paladins.
That's it.
All right, that brings us to Diana.
I'm going to let's cool. Where's the big one? The big bad, the big guy.
He is currently up here underneath one of his own nets.
Getting whipped by Moby.
Getting whipped by Moby.
Glowing with a radiant yellow light.
Basically, everything bad that could possibly happen to him, it's happening. Getting clawed by a saber-tooth tiger,
yeah. Is Moby within a 20-foot radius?
Of the
we
giant?
all are.
Yeah, everybody up there is pretty much within a 20-foot radius.
Dang.
There's this guy over here.
My plans are foiled.
Yeah, you can hear the stomping of this other giant heading towards you, making his way. Looks like he's hurting a little bit. He's got a couple bite marks taken out of him from Gizzard. He's got some claw marks going across the top of his head. He's got a crossbow bolt sticking out of his shoulder.
I'm taunting him.
Alright, I'm gonna throw a fireball.
He's like, you can see him kind of pointing a finger over towards Lachlan.
I'm gonna throw a fireball at him. Just for kick.
Hey,
Just for a kick.
and that's fun.
Third level.
Third level fireball.
Oh, wow.
Dexterity save
Nice.
for Rebrog. Let's see how he does on his dex save. He is going to fail miserably. So as Rebrog is pointing his finger towards Lachlan, just with his evil look, taunting back and forth with the gnome, all of a sudden he just sees out of the corner of his eye this beam of red light shining towards, and then all of a sudden an explosion as the impact hits him in the chest. He takes all 30 points of the fire damage as he is unable to dodge it in time. You can see he is scorched, he is clawed, he has bites taken out of him. He's in some pretty bad shape right now. What else would you like to do, Diana?
I would like to yell at my party, if you want that on that guy, then maybe move. You want that on the big bad one? I got you. Just need some space. I want to blow y'all up too. Thank you. And my voice carries because it's booming, and also because I'm a loud people in general.
There you go.
Okay.
Are you moving any, or are you going to stay put? Okay, I lost you.
I'm staying put.
Okay, gotcha.
I am
Thank you.
not moving.
All right, so you're just kind of fluttering. Devaney is trying to kind of hold her, kind of hovering, using her wings to kind of stay in one spot. Kind of varying, kind of going up 5 feet, down 5 feet, kind of just keeping you kind of stable. Next up is Kentucky. Kentucky looking at Sarvin, kind of taking to horseback. They're all going to do the same as they start to head back to their horses. And they're just going to start to kind of remount the horses. And there's that extra horse that Kentucky's going to try to run back to now that he sees that one of them has been put down. Ferris running this way, these two running. They're just all using their turns to try to get back to their horses so they can remount and get ready for a new attack. And at that point for tonight, I think this is where we're going to take our break for the evening as we I've reached about 9:30 here. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight to episode 32 of Storm King's Thunder here at Proficiency Bonus. It's been quite an exciting battle as our heroes are trying to thwart this threat of frost giants and even the occasional zombie frost giants due to some decisions that our party has made over the course of the last couple of weeks. So if you guys can, make sure you guys stick around. We'd love to have you join the adventure for the second half. We're just going to take a short break, and we will see you all back very soon. Welcome back, friends, to Storm King's Thunder, episode 32. We are in the midst of a heated battle between our party and a group of frost giants that attacked Fire Shear. And we're going to get right back into the action as the Lynx is the first to go. But currently the Lynx is also restrained and prone underneath a net with this frost giant.
So if the Lynx is trying to try to squeeze out, like either squeeze under it or like push its way through if the openings are large enough, is that still a strength roll to get out?
Yeah, still a strength roll. But yeah, you can. The Lynx could get out and leave the giant still inside.
Okay. I'm going to be lazy and not pull up because I know the Lynx has a strength of 3.
Wow.
Callista and Ashlyn and Moby, you guys see this little Lynx is trying to get out from between the net. It only gets like his head out and is like just kind of meowing and just really pulling on the net as it's unable to get out. I don't think the Lynx can do anything else this turn.
Nope.
So
no, I feel really bad.
So Callista, that brings us to you.
Okay.
Cat's not out of the bag yet. Oh gosh.
Oh.
JJ, we've missed
Send them
you.
back to the shadow hell.
Yeah, send them back. Send them back. Yes, those claws will definitely tear into the prone and glowing frost giant as you reach down and slash across the giant's back again. You hear the giant roar in pain. He looks towards you, Callista. When I get out of here. He looks like he's getting really angry.
I just do like the cat puffed up, like arched back.
There you go. Nice. Just allowing the frost giant to see your massive teeth. All right, Ashlyn. Unless you wanted to move, Callista, or you staying put.
Oh no, I'm staying put.
Okay. All right, Ashlyn, you're up. You can.
If I move, will this thing get an attack of opportunity on me because it's prone and?
Technically,
I think he does with disadvantage.
It can with disadvantage. I think is what the ruling is on restrained.
Because I'm mad that that P-Log hurt Griffin, Blizzard, but I won't go after him then.
You can move around him without leaving his melee range and shoot him.
No, I can kick him fine, but.
Okay.
I just wanted to go after this one, see her Gizzard.
I mean, you can do that. He can take a swipe at you, but it would be just one swipe, and it will be with disadvantage.
Okay, I'll run over here.
All right, that frost giant, seeing you running away on the corner of his eyes after he's kind of trash-talking Callista, is going to go ahead and take a swipe with his great axe, kind of shifting his arm right underneath the net. He's just trying to claw or just get that blade to just sweep across your legs. With disadvantage, 13. I don't think that's going to hit. So you're able to jump over the blade as it tries to swipe. And you actually kind of, as the blade's going, you kind of like run across the top of the giant blade and off of it. And then continue to run towards Rebrog.
That's cool.
Okay, I go, hey, you don't mess with my Gizzard. And I kick him in the shin. I quarterstaff him in the shins.
Quarterstaff to the shins. As he just starts to look down towards this rapidly approaching elf. And then thwack, thwack! Oh! Two smacks to the shins with the quarterstaffs for 22 points of damage. My goodness. He reaches down, grabs his shin, and looks down at you. You can see he has torch marks all over him from the fireball Diana put on him.
Yeah.
It's actually the crossbow bolt out of his shoulder is on fire at the end from it igniting it. You can see he's got bites taken out, and you go and what's your martial arts move this time, Ashlyn?
I'm just gonna go.
You're just using 2 fingers to smack him in the shin for another 8 points. He looks very badly injured, but is still standing in front of you, Ashlyn.
Okay, and that's it.
All right. Harshnag's turn. He continues to kind of stomp up north, and that brings us to Molfin.
Okay, so you said with the perception check we made earlier, Molfin can see Orange Peel Younger's face, and he looks terrified, staring up into...
Yeah, you got the idea that he has seen something that has stunned him moving towards in that direction of zombie Orange Peel. You think he caught a glimpse of him, but you're not sure how good of a glimpse he got. It being rough terrain with all these earthly pillars kind of just sitting there from Callista's spell.
Okay, so let me, Okay, what is the, range on this? Range,
no.
60 feet, okay. Oh, Molfin having a pretty good idea where he's looking. This is not quite going to end well, so let us see what we can do here. And move over. Use my full movement to get sort of right behind the saber-toothed tiger so I can get a nice clear line of sight on zombie Orange Peel.
Okay.
And as a bonus action, I send a direct mental message to zombie Orange Peel to find the old gnome and attack him.
To find the old gnome and attack him?
Yes.
Okay.
You?
I am sicking zombie Orange Peel on myself.
Okay, all right.
What?
And then out loud to the group, Molfin will out. In the north, where Callista made the stones move, there appears to be a zombie attacking. And sending a firebolt off at zombie Orange Peel.
Nice. So here comes a firebolt going towards zombie Orange Peel. Unfortunately, it impacts one of the pillars, and you see there's just a torch and the fire just explode on one of the pillars beside zombie.
There's just so many people typing in horror.
I would also like you to make a deception check for me, Molfin.
Alrighty then. With that, I am going to burn my DM's inspiration.
All right. Excellent.
Because Lord knows that is not a...
It's a 17. Boy, that inspiration was a good move, wasn't it? You see, as you're doing this, you kind of take a look over your shoulder to see if Jolin, you seen if he bought it. As your firebolt just explodes off of one of these earthly pillars, you kind of just take a quick glance, just looking over, and you can see that his facial expression kind of changes a little bit to almost from shock to a little bit of fear, that a zombie might be attacking. So, yeah, you're pretty confident that you were able to... Your plan is working. Deshara, seeing that Gizzard took a mighty big shot, is going to lead Screecher kind of away from the main part of the battle, getting Gizzard to follow behind, because Gizzard is... just flying to the left, then to the right, then down a little bit, then up. I mean, he's all disoriented right now, as he's just trying to fly away, and he catches up the Screecher and Quen back here. Quen also not looking very good as they're flying away. Rebrog, looking down at Ashlyn, is going to pick up his Great Axe, which is what I believe he is. No, his Stone Hammer. And he's going to try to slam you with it twice, Ashlyn.
Let him try.
He says, I will crush you underneath the stone. And he just reaches and he tries to smash you with a 16, and you jump out of the way as it slams into the ground. The second one comes at you. And he just kind of laughs. Weren't fast enough for that one. And you take 25 bludgeoning damage.
I say, we'll see who's standing last, P-Log.
My name is Rebrog.
I still
Can
need P-Log.
Can I use a reaction?
What would your reaction be?
I'm gonna do. Oh no, that's 30 feet. Never mind.
Yeah,
45 feet.
Be out of
60.
range.
Fine.
Okay.
I remember that.
That's all right. So Rebrog is going to stand there engaged with Ashlyn, and it brings us to Lachlan.
Alrighty. Hearing Gramps warning about this zombie that I guess he needs to help deal with. Oops, I'm gonna fly up here a little bit, and then with my last bolt, I'm gonna fire at the zombie.
All right. And that will strike the zombie orange peel right in the neck for 6 piercing damage. Zombie is still shambling around. he's now got a crossbow bolt sticking out of the side of his neck as he's just shambling around in there in the pillars of earth.
I sweat and I finish my turn.
All right. Grumir is he's in a bad way. He's gonna try to get out of there. Again, because he needs to get out of there. So he's going to try to lift himself out with a strength check and is able to do so this time. So he gets the net off with his action. He's going to use half of his movement to stand up. Stand up in front of Callista and Moby. So I'm going to get rid of the... he's no longer under the net and no longer prone.
But at least he's still glowing yellow.
Yeah, he is. And looking over towards seeing Ukros, his body laying down, starting to hear weapons from the north being engaged, and looking down and seeing that Rebrog is not looking in so good a shape. He's going to go ahead and he's going to try to turn around, and he's going to try to start heading off. But he's only going to be able to get about 20 feet. That's going to provoke an opportunity attack from
Is he running through difficult terrain?
Callista. Yeah, he only has he's only going to get to about right there.
Okay.
I guess a 10 doesn't hit.
A 10 will not hit. And
I've got a whip.
Moby,
so
Moby,
that'll reach him.
you could use your reaction to do that. Yep.
Catches
This-
a leg.
Is this a new turn? No, it's not. Okay.
It's not yet.
No branding smart.
That whip will strike
Yeah.
for 7 as the
I'll throw a divine smite on that.
as that hits, you can hear the call of the raven again, and some more feathers fly off of the whip as it smashes into the back of the leg of the frost giant as he starts to run. He kind of stumbles a bit as the whip makes contact, and he continues to head on that direction. Zombie orange peel. So, Molfin, this is interesting. You get to play a character that's against you right now. So, go ahead and unmute yourself so we can hear you, Matthew.
Yeah, so the closest he get right now is to there. He's 10 feet to get out of that, and then another 10 feet. So he is still making his way. Actually, no, he would dash to charge. He is up in Molfin's face, but can't attack yet.
Yeah, Callista, as you just got done like chomping towards this giant, you can smell the rotting flesh of zombie orange peel as he kind of moans and moving at actually a pretty rapid pace, dragging one leg and going, old gnome, old gnome, and just like heading past you, just moaning those two words. And that brings us to Sarvin, who continues to run up this way and is going to move the full 50 feet to get to right about there. And now with full view of what is happening, Jolin's face changes back.
Oh, no.
As unfortunately, zombie orange peel was still a little rotten, but it hadn't been all that long since he's been dead. It's only been a couple of
Callista
days.
preserved him pretty well, so
She did. She kind of wrapped him up pretty good in those vines and
the cold
kept the stench away with the beautiful flowers that she made grow from the vines. So you can start to grasp, Molfin, that your idea was working until he got a really good view of. And it's bad.
Okay, he doesn't know whose fault it is. He just knows that is.
Sarvin gets an arrow ready and is kind of following your instructions, Molfin. Goes to pull back and then just has an awkward look on his face. And then looks down towards Jolin, then looks back up, and then looks down towards Jolin, and he spends his whole turn doing that as he's approaching.
God damn it.
That brings us to Moby.
I'm in two worlds here. Should I kill this poor halfling's dad in front of his eyes, or should I get this job?
What would Dark
giant.
Moby do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, giant it is. So me and my cute little pink elephant, we're going to do a trampling charge on this giant. So the elephant's got to run at it with a gore attack.
All right. And as the elephant is headed, you can see that the tusks of the elephant are just glowing with this green radiant energy. Unfortunately, even with advantage, the giant hearing the feet kind of charging towards him, is able to turn around and just see and pick up his one leg, and the elephant just kind of just slides right underneath his foot.
That's alright. As we're sliding under the leg, whip comes out, and Moby's going to have two whips against the giant.
Oh, so you're like looking up with the whip, and you're gonna smack him in the bottom of his foot with two whip attacks.
Alright.
That will hit, and that's branding smite as well.
So many buttons.
For 18 points as the energy it just makes a huge impact.
And I'll put another smite on that, because let's just end this.
So, are you making a second whip attack, or you're doing the smite on that one?
Smite on that one.
Okay.
And another one.
And
It's
then
gone.
another whip to the bottom of the foot. And actually, he's able to see that one coming a little bit, and he moves his foot just slightly out of the way after taking that impact and just reaches up. He grabs his foot, and he's like, "Oh!" He looks pretty beat up. I mean, he's struggling. He's got claw marks all over him from Callista. He's still glowing and beaming with this radiant light. Man. He's not doing so hot. Anything else you can do, Moby?
No, that's it. I'll leave it there under his feet.
All right, Diana. What would you like to do?
So I know my girl Ashlyn might die, so I'm gonna get closer to her. I have like 80 feet. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
plenty.
get closer, like right there, and let me see here. If I get like right behind Ashlyn and kind of duck behind her while I swoop down and heal her, can I then swoop away if the giant doesn't get an attack of opportunity?
Let's see. Well, technically, you would be in with if you get behind Ashlyn, you're still within reach because they have a 10-foot reach. So it would get an attack of opportunity against you.
Never mind. I love you, but never mind. I'm gonna
Remember, find me later.
Healing word works.
give you a healing word.
Molfin, it
Okay.
has not been.
I'm gonna give you a healing word, so you have 5 more points of healing.
Okay.
I know that
Alright.
doesn't mean anything, but I love you. Yeah. Then I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Oh, a DC
Give it a
15
dexterity
dex
save.
save. Let's see. He just makes it. So Ashlyn, as you see this divine flame kind of erupt, Rebrog kind of takes a step back out of it as you feel this this blessing from Elmater come upon you as you feel like you've been re-energized just a little bit from Diana.
And I will stick around because I can't just let my girl be out here all alone. Ooh, I'm gonna stay within 30 feet of her, so that way if he makes an attack on her again, I have warding flare to throw out.
Okay.
Give him disadvantage.
Didn't we say Warning Flare was only yourself, though? Is that what we came to the
Yeah.
conclusion of?
But then I looked it up and I got an extra divine domain feature where it does go out in front of other people.
Nice. There we go.
Nice.
Excellent.
A 30 feet range. So we were
Cool.
cheating before and giving me a 6th level ability when I should have had a 2nd level ability.
It's all good. We are good. Kentucky and his cool crew down here, they're just basically focused on kind of remounting and kind of backing you guys all up. So you guys can hear that all these horses are starting to come out of the forest down below. And they are charging ahead. Oh, I didn't realize Malik was still down here. Poor Malik. We forgot about you. Malik's
Malik fled after Dolphin couldn't control.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Malik was just like flying all around, doing whatever he wanted to do.
Dangerous on both ends and crafty in the middle.
All right. So they're headed towards you guys, and the lynx is freed because the giant basically took the net and just basically like tossed it off of him. So the lynx is no longer restrained. Still prone, so you'd have to spend half the movement for the lynx to stand. But other than that,
Okay, so the lynx will stand up and then use the remainder of its movement to sort of circle around and sort of stand right behind Molfin.
all right. That brings us to Callista.
I'm doing a pounce on this thing.
All right. Awesome.
DC 14 strength saving throw.
All right. Strength save. Here it comes. DC 14. He makes it.
Okay. So he takes 14 slashing.
14 slashing damage. Callista, go ahead and describe this kill for us.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna like come over top of his shoulders and like flip around so I'm facing him, like do another Tokyo Drift kind of slide, and then as I jump up, I'm just going straight for his jugular. Like I'm gonna grin, give him that grin that he was giving me that look like, what the hell? Why isn't she hurt? I'm gonna give him that grin again and just go straight for his throat.
All right. As your claws sink into his shoulders, you actually use your enormous saber-tooth tiger fangs to just bite into his neck. And you can just hear like all this blood start to rush up through his neck and his mouth area as he falls down and tumbles and crashing and just clips the corner of Deshara's the stable area right here, and just takes some of the wood and kind of smashes the corner just a bit as it slams on the ground in front of you. Anything else you can do for this this turn, Callista?
That was 20, so I got another. I can move. I'm gonna start heading back towards Ashlyn.
Okay. Excellent. And that brings us to Ashlyn, who just got slammed with a giant stone hammer.
I'm fine. It's okay. I get hit all the time in the head. It's fine. Really. Alright, P-Log. Come on.
Oh, so here comes 2 more quarterstaffs smacking him in the shins. Yes, both of them strike him. All right, Ashlyn, describe this kill for us.
Okay. I just like take my quarterstaff and I'm like pew pew, and the second pew he goes, oh my ankle, my arthritis, and he goes, oh! And he has a heart attack. He has a heart attack, and
he has a heart attack. He has a heart attack in the midst of all these quarterstaff strikes.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you see the giant like reach up to his chest, and he's like, oh, 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 oh. He just slams onto the ground beside you. And that officially, I believe.
Oh.
Well, Zombie Orange Peel is still a hostile creature. So, Harshnag, you guys can hear to the north some weapons kind of like slamming against each other, and you can hear like moans and just like things happening from the north a little bit. But that brings us to Mulfin, who is now face to face with the creature that he created.
Wait, can I use my movement to kind of get in between like the horse and be like, hey guys?
Yes.
Because I'm so good at talking to people.
Yeah, so you just like jump in front of between
I'll go
Sarvin.
down.
You're just kind of like, hey everybody, look at me. Like jumping in front.
How was that fight?
All right, Mulfin, it's your turn.
Mulfin in full, salesman mode, trying to. This is going to take off running. As panicked, and start running away from Zombie Orange Peel, which will trigger an attack.
Yeah, Zombie Orange Peel is going to try to smash you. Go ahead, you can roll the attack. Yeah, and that will miss.
And as Mulfin is running away, somebody please do something to aid me here. And once again, running away, throwing another firebolt behind him.
Oh, old gnome! Old gnome! As I think that will hit it, right? Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. Go ahead and describe this for us, Mulfin, as you just destroyed Zombie Orange Peel.
Ashlyn does a cartwheel to try to destroy him.
Actually, wait a minute. He has to make an undead fortitude, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of damage, though. I don't even think he can do it.
He gets a +3. I did 19, so now he can't. He'd have to roll a 24.
So he wouldn't even be a...
Yeah, even with the crit, he'd only get a 23.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically with this firebolt annihilate him, and yeah, he kind of crumbles.
Crematory.
Yeah.
If plausible, burn the upper half.
Okay, yeah. So the body just like ignites in the flames. You can see it just going. The halfling body is just like there, like flailing its arms, and then it just lands into the snowy ground. Just a little bit of a flame kind of rising from the rotten flesh, and that will take us out of our initiative order officially now, as Zombie Orange Peel has been dealt with. So Zombie Orange Peel ended up being like the final boss there. That was-
I'll drop my form, by the way.
All right.
I yell out who needs healing and who has 10 minutes to spare.
We can rest now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and change our music a little bit and give us something different
Can
to
you
go
bring my
with.
token back up to normal air?
I will, yes. Let me get some good
Thanks.
music going on. We'll just throw
Okay,
that one up
healing.
there.
Healing.
I'm
Healing
good.
now.
I'm fine.
Get your
Get
healing.
Ashlyn.
What is it? What is it
And
again?
maybe the
Bring out
Griffins.
your dead.
The
Bring out
Griffins
your
and
dead.
Bring out your
Ashlyn.
dead.
No, Monty Python.
I'm
No
not
one.
dead yet.
Thank you.
I don't want to get in the car.
Is there anyone else that needs healing? Bring
Griffin. Griffin.
Griffins can use it.
Griffin.
I could potentially use some that.
Bring
Hey,
some
Clay.
Molten over
Attacking
here.
You need someone to come out back to life.
Bring what is it? What was his name? The Kentucky. Bring Kentucky.
Oh, and
Hey,
Therese.
I go
Michael,
straight to Moby and I give him a hug.
So Moby, you are just as you're kind of walking up towards everybody else, Callista up here in the north just basically almost leaps at you with an enormous hug.
tackles me off the elephant.
Yeah, tackles you off the elephant and into the
Not hard.
into the snowy ground.
Tries to tear at your throat.
And Diana looks like she's beginning to
13?
pray. She's just reaching out to Omater to help to restore the life of her party a
you.
little bit from this brutal battle that has transpired. Jolin has come up cautiously towards this burnt corpse. Sarvin is there as well, and they just have this weird questioning look on their faces as they approach slowly, and Jolin's just kind of like walking around, like looking at the corpse, just kind of pondering a bit. Sarvin's kind of he's like, nah, couldn't be. Impossible. And then Jolin kind of looks at him. He's, yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. The thunders.
I could have swore I saw. Well, I guess it's just still on my mind. And he just kind of starts to walk away a little bit. Sarvin's like, yeah, couldn't be.
Hi, Dylan.
And Kentucky and the rest of his group have basically ridden up and kind of dismounted.
Kentucky got some healing.
Kentucky
And
got healing
Therese.
as well.
And Therese.
Yeah.
Faris got some.
So begrudgingly, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
And as for Faris and Kentucky kind of come up closer, as the rest of the guards are kind of like walking around, just kind of surveying the area, checking for damages. Is that
Let's
7 and
check for
6?
loot.
Okay, it's 13.
Oh, I
points.
added them
Okay.
I added them for the Griffins, by the way.
Oh, you did for the Griffins? Excellent. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Loot.
Excellent. You guys are awesome.
Can we
Cool.
loot the giants? Do the giants have anything shiny on them?
Oh, absolutely. You can loot the giants.
Yeah, I was gonna look at this one closest to me.
Yeah, I want to look at the big one with Moby.
The big one? Okay.
We
Nice.
tag teamed it.
I'll kind of fly over to that one on the left and start poking
Yeah,
at
me
it.
too. I'll go down here and I'll help Lachlan pick some things.
Okay.
Oh,
There's some good stuff on this one.
Don't jinx it.
All right, Lachlan went up
Me?
to the old man, and Diana went down to the undead one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can help me, Uncle
All right,
Morgan.
Lachlan, as you're going through Ukras's large bag that he had with him, you find a pair of giant-sized leather sandals.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You also find a giant-sized comb made from bones. And you also find a 6-foot-long wooden fence post that's painted bright white.
Wow.
We find really weird stuff.
These people are just hoarders. These frost giants are just hoarders.
That's about it.
We can use that leather and make armor, maybe.
All right.
Hoarders, Fire Shear Edition.
There you go.
They're hoarding Fire
On
Shear.
TLC.
Ashland's there checking out Rebrog. Ashland, what you find for Rebrog is in his bag, he has a wooden rocking chair. He also has 6 large knucklebone trout tied to a 3-foot piece of rope. They're kind of fresh too.
Okay, we can eat them.
He has a wooden boat oar. And he also has, as you're kind of going through the bag, all of a sudden you hear and a live chicken just takes off out of the bag and starts running around with the white feathers just kind of like flying off.
She has
of
a
it.
new pet. It's happening.
Do you want a chicken? I'm taking the chicken.
It's yours.
Okay, I'm gonna take this.
I can talk to it later for you if you want.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I am picturing Rocky 1.
There you go. As
I
you
give the fish to the griffins.
all right, the large one at the top, in
Oh,
his
they might have
bag,
the chicken.
he has a wooden bucket with what is it's frozen inside, like it was full of water, but now it's completely frozen. He also has a giant-sized necklace that's completely made of dragon fangs.
That'll be useful.
He also has on him, he has 400 gold pieces.
Okay.
And let me double check this in my DMG really quick, but he also has a potion bottle in his bag that looks like, let me see if I can find it. Where are you? Potions. Potions. There they are. Inside, it has a yellowish liquid. And you can see inside there is this eyeball that just kind of bobs in the liquid that's inside.
Ooh, maybe I can name him too.
And that's pretty much all he has on him. You and Moby both...
I'm not showing it to Ashlyn.
You and Moby kind of both figure that the majority of their riches would probably have been on the ship.
Yeah.
The longboat. They wouldn't necessarily
okay.
bring
I have
much
water
with
breathing.
them.
I can get it later.
I got a cloak. I can
And
join
so
you.
does Moby. Me and Moby can go get it later.
We had a tombstone in the bag of holding. I want to kind of pull it out and make some room in there.
Okay, you're gonna get rid of the
Is there anything
tombstone.
written on that tombstone?
It looked like there was, but it's so old, like it's been weathered so much that you can't really tell what was carved in it.
Oh, then why?
I added it to the loot. The stuff. I added my stuff to the loot anyway.
All right.
I look at Moby. What took you so long?
That was 5 minutes.
That was
Surely-
not
surely
5
this time
minutes.
It was 5 minutes.
You really need to learn how to tell time, Moby.
You know? Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Calista, as you're looking at Moby, actually, you start to notice that he looks very, very different from when you last saw him. In fact, his hair is just this, it's fully jet black, as you remember, but the sides have been shaved off. Like it's just bald around the sides and the back.
JJ,
And it's just
stop!
big tuft of hair. It's just this big tuft of hair standing up about 2.5 feet tall. His skull is tattooed with these ravens that spread the
Oh,
width.
you're giving Christy
head.
anxiety.
His skin is pale, like very pale, like he's experienced death before. There's almost like there's no blood rushing to his face whatsoever. And he's like, for you notice that he looks a decent amount older than what he was when you saw him last time.
If I feel
He's
his
showing
forehead,
visible
are
signs
you
of
cold?
aging.
Are you cold to the touch if I feel your forehead?
Nope.
You're warm.
And I have tiny little spectacles that sit on the bridge of my nose.
Oh, stop it! Stop adding stuff!
The look is very intellectual.
Stop it, JJ!
Intellectual goth. All right.
What happened to you?
Let's just say it's been a long time since I've been back.
Yeah,
Much
I
longer
know.
than I thought it would be.
How long was it for you?
Well, how long was it here? I'm surprised I even found you, to be honest.
How did you find us?
You know, my raven. I just kind of look to my left shoulder. It's the raven's sitting there perched. Gives
How
off a
long has
little-
it been completely since he first left us? Since he first went to the Shadowfell? Or wherever the Raven took him?
Well, it was there was a few days travel to Huddlestone. You guys stayed there a night. Then there was a few days travel on down here to Fireshear. So it's really probably only been probably just over a week.
Wasn't there a long,
So-
like,
They had
4-day journey?
I thought it's been
It's like
a
a-
couple weeks at least. I
Well,
thought it's been almost a month.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a month. It probably
No?
might be a maximum of
It's
2
like a
weeks.
10-day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like maybe 3 or 4 days to get to Huddlestone, maybe 3 or 4 more to get to here. And then you guys stayed here for 2 nights, stayed 1 night on the outskirts, and then you came back in to face the frost giants. So yeah, maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
How long was it for you, Moby?
Start counting on my fingers. It was almost 12 years for me.
12 years?
Oh, no, I miscounted. 12 years and 3 months. Sorry.
Can I do a medicine check on him or something?
Sure. What would the rest of you be doing during this conversation? Are you guys approaching them or doing other things?
I have found this perfectly marvelous chair, so I am just relaxing.
You're sitting on the rocking chair that Ashlyn pulled off. That's nice.
Apparently, I'm going for a ride, so.
Oh yeah, I'm pushing him like it's a sled up to movie now.
Jolin walks up to you, Mulfin, as you're sitting on the rocking chair, and he kind of looks up at you. He says, That wasn't like pointing back to the. I mean, I thought.
I do
I
another cartwheel.
So he looks over at Ashlyn doing cartwheels. He's like, he just kind of shakes his head a bit.
Mulfin doesn't say a word, just sort of looks like shrugging, hands up a
Okay,
little.
we're going for a ride.
Where you just left.
Yep, with Uncle Muffin. I'm pushing him in the
She's
rock.
pushing me in the chair, so
Oh,
Mulfin
okay.
just is going like, and all of a sudden,
Sliding across the snow is the
Yeah,
rocking
that's
chair with Mulfin. Excellent. As we go back up here
thank you, my
to
dear.
Moby and Callista, you guys notice you can hear the sliding of this rocking chair. as Ashlyn is pushing a rocking chair with Molfin on it. Lachlan, what are you up
I
to?
look over at Molfin.
Perched up on the roof listening.
Okay, gotcha.
For Molfin and Lachlan, you definitely notice the signs of age being gnomes. You can tell that I'm much, much older than what I was when I left, as well as all the other things I've mentioned before.
Ooh, I like your tiny spectacles, cousin Moby. Did I tell you we're cousins? Hi, I'm your cousin, and I stick up my hand.
Oh yeah, no, I remember, and I grab a hand and shake it. I actually made these myself. If you want a pair, I could,
Yes. I can totally fight better with them on.
Movie.
Yeah, try these ones on. I'm gonna hand over the spectacles.
Oh, there you go.
They're much too small.
Fabulous.
When I do a medicine check on him, am I seeing anything unusual or like anything drastically unhealthy or?
Go ahead, Moby.
I'm just looking for.
What would she be seeing on you with a 16 medicine check?
All right, with a 16, you probably noticed that some of my hands, like the left and right hand, they have like these minor burns along the fingertips, kind of stretching up towards the top of the wrist.
Moby, what happened to your hands?
Just accidents in the workshop. You know how it goes.
No, I don't. What workshop?
Oh, I had a nice little setup in the Shadowfell. The Raven Queen she's good to me.
And
I learned a lot of new things. A lot.
Why did you stay so long?
It's what she demanded of me. She
What
kept me
else?
updated with some of the things you were doing. She is very clever. She sees everything. She's got eyes everywhere.
I look really self-conscious right now.
What else is she demanding of you? Are you?
Weeks?
Yeah. No.
Sorry, Malcolm, repeat that.
Why did she keep you for those? It's been almost 2 weeks. You said 5 minutes.
Well, I had to find her first, didn't I?
She brought you to her.
The Raven brought me to her. I give the Raven a little pat on the head. Oh, and I forgot. This is Mogwai, and I just kind of like step out the way, and you see like this like little 5-foot elephant, and it's strange. It's this pink color, and it looks like there's this steam that's constantly like radiating off it. But unlike other elephants at that age, where their tusks are really short, these tusks are incredibly elongated, and the left tusk is actually being almost lopped off.
Ashlyn runs up and is hugging it.
Molfin turns and looks at Diana, who apparently has come up and is near us. Diana, just for my own verification, nothing that we have had here has any sort of hallucinogenic properties. I'm not drunk again, am I? I'm seeing small elephants, and the last time I was drinking, I saw small green men.
No, Molfin, we all see that too. It's there. Actually, hang on. Follow my finger. Follow it. Keep it tracking with your eyes. Okay. Can you walk in a straight line?
Probably not.
Me ever?
No.
That's the point.
Okay. Then, we all see the elephant. You're not having any hallucinogen. You're not on mushrooms. You are just
The mushrooms are in my bag, Molfin. You haven't gotten them yet.
Oh, there are mushrooms.
Well, there are.
Sarvin, you can hear Sarvin's footsteps walk up through the snow as he looks towards Moby. And, oh, another brave adventurer! Ah, Nice to meet you. I'm Sarvin, King of the Frozen Far. And he holds out his hand towards you, Moby.
Confused, I'm looking around like, do we know this guy?
Kind of been a tag along for a while.
He's our dear friend, Moby. Our dear friend.
Tag along!
Why, he's the king.
The elephant extends its trunk out for a shake.
Okay,
Oh.
he kind of gives it an awkward look at first, but then reaches out and shakes the elephant's tusk. Oh, that's another thing I can add to my list. The time where I shook hands with an elephant. Well, shook tusk with an elephant, I guess. Wonderful!
When you retell that story, be careful how you phrase that, because it might not come off. So
Oh,
good.
yeah. He kind of like ponders for a second. He's, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a thinker, that one. It's a thinker.
Did I ever tell you?
Sarvin needs his own show.
I haven't gotten a chance to tell you how one day I plucked the eyeball
Sarvin.
out of a beholder.
Sarvin,
Oh, yes.
follow me, please,
Sure. Where are we going?
for a walk. Family needs to catch up.
Walk. I love walks. Can
Follow me.
Can we take Jolin with us?
No, just you.
Oh.
Just me. Fair enough.
Oh my god, Christy's gonna kill him.
Simon walks with Callista.
Don't spoil my plans!
And he was never seen again.
Yeah.
Callista.
No!
Callista, I'm flattered. I thought you didn't like me, but you invited me to go for a walk. This is progress. I'm excited.
She likes the dragonkin.
Don't even! He's not even the same caliber as Clarion. Don't even. Don't compare the two. Clarion
the
is an
dragon
intelligent gentleman. He doesn't need to be anyway.
Your friend there, he seems like a brave gnome. Maybe he would like maybe like a position on, King Sarvin's court.
Maybe. But there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Moby the Magnificent. I don't know. It could happen.
Sarvin!
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
She's such a mom.
I didn't realize I was talking so much there. I'm sorry.
I have something to tell you.
Yes.
Are you done?
Am I done?
Are you done?
I'm-
Can I talk?
I
Do you mind?
no, by all means, please. But
Okay.
can I tell you something afterwards?
I guess I could allow that.
Fair enough. You may proceed.
Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to apologize if I came off insensitive earlier. But you see, like you, my mother also died from disease. But unlike you, my family had all the wealth and resources available to cure her. But even still, it wasn't enough. My grandfather was distraught, obviously, and after that he was hell-bent on blaming someone for her death. And he couldn't blame the money, and he couldn't blame the resources. They failed him. So instead, he blamed me. He said I was the curse that stole his daughter away. It was easier to blame me than a physical abomination with dirty blood than to accept that death does not discriminate. So you see, Sarvin, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Money and status don't protect you from pain or death, and it's easier to blame those around you than accept the world for how it is. Maybe these people have wronged you, but holding on to that grudge won't get you anywhere. And blaming them for your mother's death will only hold you back. And I've learned to burn my bridges and keep moving forward instead. I know better than anyone what it's like not to belong in society. A society that you're born into that you didn't ask for, but you were given anyway. And like you, I forged my own path and I haven't looked back since. So, burn your bridges, Sarvin, and don't look back and just be the king you want to be.
Sarvin's just kind of just staring at you through this whole conversation, Callista. And you can see that he's fighting back tears in his eyes as you're talking. And he looks towards you and he's, I'm so sorry, Callista. I'm sorry about your mother. And I'm sorry if there was anything that I said that hurt you. It was not my intention to do that to you. And you may be right. You may be absolutely right. You are right. Death does not discriminate. I guess I just felt that maybe I could continue to run.
There's nothing wrong with running. But blaming someone for a disease, that's not right.
You're right. I guess it's just, well, you know, it's just hard. Hard to...
I lower my cloak and I say, I know.
He reaches up and he takes the mask off of his face. And you just look at all these white, shiny scales, and it's difficult when we look the way that we do. People look at us different. They treat us different. But you are right. You know, I spend all this time whittling at night. Try to capture the essence of what it means to be heroic. The people that I meet, the things that I see, the good things that I see in the people that cross my path, I try to capture that essence in every single one of my miniature sculptures. But the ones that I have been most proud of are the ones that I've carved of all of you. Because I see that bravery, that courage, that's sometimes lacking in me. And it gives me hope, it gives me strength. And I can't thank you enough, Callista, for allowing me to be your tag-along.
I've had worse.
Nice.
Yeah, there's 3 gnomes in the bar.
He kind of looks towards you and he's... I think it's time I headed up back north. I think I have a little bit more soul searching to do. But I think I'm done running, Callista. I think I'm done.
Well, that makes one of us.
But... JJ in chat. Hilarious.
Yeah,
And Sarvin kind of looks back towards the group and it's kind of just like, you know what? better yet, I've got another plan. I think
What's that?
I think I'm gonna try to get my good friend Joel in there back to his family.
That's a good idea.
I think that would be a good first step. Instead of running away from my problems, I'll use my adventuring skills and prowess to do some good. And maybe pluck out a couple beholder eyeballs while I'm at it.
I'm sure you will.
Because that's always fun. And he kind of looks back towards Joel and the group, and he just takes one hand and kind of puts it on your shoulder, Callista, and he just... Thank you.
And I'm looking at my group too.
Okay. And he just kind of just...
Gramps, they're getting along.
Because he's leaving.
And he says,
It's a little disturbing.
he just says thank you, and he starts to walk back towards where Jolin is, still pondering the whole situation back here on what exactly happened between Molfin and this zombie.
There was a fight. There was a fireball. Oh, wow. Ashland's taking me for a walk again.
So Sarvin kind of walks away, Callista. The rest of you back at the group, what would you guys be doing as Callista seems to be making her way back towards...
Apparently, I'm
Party.
having a whittling contest with JJ.
Molfin is basically searching Moby to make sure he's in proper working order. You know,
It's-
pulling on limbs, lifting arms.
Yeah. Molfin's yanking
It's
on
still me.
Moby's.
It's been a long time, but it's still me. I know I look very
Starting to look
different.
more like Gramps.
I'm getting old. I was
Yeah,
there for 12
no, it's
years
just been-
and 3 months.
It has been shy of 2 weeks. You look to have aged years.
I was in the Shadowfell for just over 12 years, Morphin.
No, you weren't. I was
It's been a
there.
long time for me.
No, you weren't. I can count. Ish.
So, let me get this straight, Moby. You said you would be back in 5 minutes.
See?
And
He's
you
not
made
very
us
good with
wait
time.
2 weeks,
I'm
and
not
you
very
claim
good
it
at math.
was 12 years.
It's an expression of speech. I'm not literal all the time. I don't think, anyway.
Everyone's literal all the time. You're so silly.
Anyway, that's why I needed that leather. Lachlan, did you have the leather?
I pull one of the sandals out of the bag of holding.
It's taller than you are, Lachlan. Like, it's enormous.
Fishing it out.
Has anyone got a knife or something I can cut with?
I have a dagger. I'll hand you my dagger.
Alright, I'm gonna start cutting off this crude chunk of leather from the sandals.
You cut off a small piece of this enormous, like, 6-foot sandal that just
Just gonna
fell
put it
off
in
of the
my
roof
little
of the
pack.
Griffin stables from where Lachlan is. He just like threw it down.
I'm gonna put it into my pack. That's gonna be my next thing I make. So I can always keep the time with me.
Nice. As you guys are having this conversation and Moby's doing that, you guys can hear some crumpling coming through the woods, and you can see Harshnag in the distance, and he's dragging 2 dead bodies of frost giants as he has them by the legs, and he's kind of chuckling a little bit to himself. He's got a little bit of some blood pouring off of his mouth. Like, it looks like maybe these giants got a couple shots in, but he still looks is energized and is pumped. And you can see the Zenturum guards. They start heading over, and they see that he's got like these giant bags and stuff like over his shoulders, and they're like running to help. And one of the Kentucky like looks over towards Lachlan standing on top and is like, will you come and help us?
Sure, why not?
I'm
Kick
gonna
up
go
off the
to
roof.
Harshnag and make sure he's okay.
Okay.
Wherever he is, I don't know where.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
he's kind of
there.
continuing. Yeah, he's continuing to drag these bodies up here, with kind of their bags and satchels. So So, Callista, you've rejoined the group over here with Diana and Molfin and Moby. Anything you guys would be chatting about as...
Callista just lights up her pipe.
All right.
It's been a stressful day.
Okay. So, Lachlan, as you're heading over to help, Ashlyn, Harshnag just kind of drops all of his stuff and he holds out his hand down towards you, Ashlyn.
I run up it.
Oh, you run up his hand, he puts you back on his shoulder. There you are, friend.
Hey,
This is like a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gives you like one finger, 5. Yeah, so you're... Oh, glad to see you were able to keep yourself safe.
Let's see you were.
Oh,
Some ass, didn't you?
that's nothing for me. These frost giants are just terrible. They don't know how to fight.
Not like you.
That is right. He kind of adjusts his skull helm that he has on his head. He's kind of flattered by you, Ashlyn. And Lachlan, as you're kind of going through these giant bags with the rest of the Zentrum, you notice that Ferris is kind of checking you out a little bit.
I spit in my hand a little and like do my hair.
And she's just kind of like checking you out every once in a while, peeking and going through another one of the bags.
What you looking at?
As you're going through the bags, you find a silver goblet inlaid with purple gemstones. You also find an uprooted berry bush, a 5-foot length of metal chain, a cast iron cooking pot, and right after you get the cast iron cooking pot out, all of a sudden you hear meh, and this sheep goes flying out of the bag and starts running around in circles all around the area right beside you.
Catch that, Lachlan. We can have that for dinner.
I chase the sheep.
All right,
Trying to look really cool. I do it for Ferris. Like I'm like trying to,
okay.
look like I'm good at
Go,
sheep.
go ahead and make a
going through hair.
go ahead and make an athletics check as you leap onto the sheep to try to tackle it to the ground.
It does not look sexy, by the way.
You are able to. It drags you a little bit, but then it gives up and it falls down onto the to the icy, snowy ground, and you kind of and Ferris kind of like looks at you a little bit at first, kind of questioning, but then like kind of yeah. She seems to be a little bit impressed by your ability to to jump on the sheep and tackle it to the ground. And she kind of continues to like just kind of dig through some of the stuff and starts bringing some of the like they've got the giant weapons that they're trying to like a couple of them are trying to drag this great axe across the ground and things like that. We head back to the group over here, and Sarvin looks like he's kind of approaching with Jolin here to the rest of you. And stands kind of right here next to Callista, facing Diana and the rest of you. And he looks down at Jolin and looks at all of you. Well, friends, I believe it's time that I carry on.
What?
I've
Carry on what?
well, I believe it's
Carrying.
well. Right now, I'm going to take our halfling friend Jolin back to his family. I feel like it's the least I can do for him.
Are you certain the roads are safe enough?
No. Diana, you know better than that. The roads are never safe. But
They
that's
aren't.
but they are no mind that, Diana. I mean, I'm the king of the frozen far.
Wait, you're leaving?
Am I hearing all this?
You can hear it from a
Yeah.
distance. Yeah, Lachlan. Yeah.
Harshnag, go
Lachlan,
down.
come
I
get
wanna
your
hear-
boyfriend. talk about leaving.
I do kind of abandon the looting and kind of go try to see what everybody's up to.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Lots
go.
of
Hold on,
abandoned
Hurricane.
I ship it.
Oh.
So everybody is kind of coming up to Sarvin and Jolin. He's like, yeah.
Molfen is staying in the back, looking like he's just with the very sort of blank, confused look on his face.
In the rocking chair.
I'm still sitting in the rocking chair, but looking back, just with that look like lights are on, nobody's home.
Yeah. And Callista, Sarvin kind of gives you a look, like he kind of gives you a look and gives you a little bit of a smile, and then he looks back at the group, making sure that they saw this smile. Looks back at you, smiles again, and while he's looking at you, smiling, he's, you know, I'm done running. And he looks back at you guys, and I've made a name. I've made a name for myself, and I'm gonna be done running from my past. But I got some good things that I need to do. Like, get this little guy to his family. He's got children, you know.
10 of them.
10 of them, yes. Oh, my goodness. Must be torture. He's like, oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Sorry, Jolin. And he taps him on the shoulder. Jolin just kind of shrugs and kind of has a little bit of a smirk on his face. Almost kind of believing him a little bit, you know.
Oh,
and he
I'll miss you, Sorvin.
I'll miss you too, Ashlyn. We've had some
I give you
great
a hug.
conversations.
I know, right? I'll miss your stories at night. They're the best.
Well, I hope they didn't get too old.
Never.
Good.
Can you make some more so next time I see you, you'll have new ones?
Absolutely, Ashlyn. I'm so excited
Awesome.
about this new adventure with Jolin. I'm sure I will have plenty of things to tell you when I see you again.
I have a question. Does this mean that I need to throw out the letter that I wrote? Because remember, I was gonna write that letter, be so indignant for you, and get my temple to aid the people here and heal them. Are we not doing that anymore?
It's,
Sarvin?
You
It's-
wrote a letter. I forgot. Yeah. It's
I
really
wrote the
long.
letter.
It's really long.
how about... No, Diana, it truly is up to you.
Then I am going to bring socialism to this community. It's going to be wonderful. We are going to have free healthcare. The common people, there will no longer be a surplus of wealth. We will no longer take bribes from.
How will I know who to steal from?
What's socialism?
Communism.
That's the one. Yep.
Communism.
If Molfin's face could get any more confused and vacant than it was a moment ago, he's trying to make it appear that way.
Well, I hug Jolene and I hug Sarvin really big. Sarvin.
Thank you, Ashlyn. No, I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Please stay safe.
You two guys.
Look out for the rest of this group.
I'll try. I'm the one with the sense around here.
Goodness.
He comes over and kind of walks over to Lachlan, and he's like, Lachlan the Legendary.
King of the frozen far. I want to give him like a predator handshake.
All right. He reaches out and shakes your hand. It's like this really sporadic up and down. Like he's like, it has been such an honor to spend time with you, Lachlan.
Oh, save a spot in the court for me, Your Highness.
You got it, my friend. And I'm sure I will hear of your stories all over the north.
Oh, you will. Hopefully they won't be, too bad.
So where is it that you're heading next, Lachlan the Legendary? Where will your story take you?
I don't know where we'll all end up after this, but at the end of the day, I want to get down to Waterdeep.
Waterdeep. Why is it that
Waterdeep.
why do you want to get to Waterdeep?
So I can tell them about you.
Oh, well, that would be fantastic. You know, Jolan here, he lives down near Waterdeep, so maybe I'll get a chance to visit.
You should.
I've-
Look me up.
I can do that, Lachlan. And looks over at Diana. Diana the Divine.
Yeah.
I will surely
Trying-
miss you.
Oh, I'll miss you too.
I'm sorry if our relationship kind of started off rocky and on the wrong foot.
You know, that might have been my fault throwing cute little wooden figurines into fires. I might have had something to do with that. I'm very sorry. That's not normally me. I was going through a lot, and I'm sorry, and I want to hug him.
It really is
Hug it
okay,
out.
Diana. It gave me more practice on carving you.
Sorry. I'm just so sorry.
It is okay, and I thank you for everything.
Thank you. I thank you as well for being you.
As you're talking, he kind of talks a little bit quieter towards you, but he's like, "There's always room for a good cleric of El Mater on the court of King of the Frozen Far, King Sarvin."
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
he looks over towards Mulfin and he says, well, Mulfin, you've got your work cut out for you with this bunch. Are you speechless? Because I know I would be.
If I can get them steered in the proper. And then Mulfin drops his face for a second and starts babbling random words at people in Primordial. And then after a couple of moments, sorry about that. Well, if we
What in the world are you talking about?
I have need to get to Everland at some point.
Everland.
I wish you well in your journey.
Fair enough. Be careful. And he kind of covers over one. Look out for the gnomes.
One must take care of, and sort of gives a half nod towards Lachlan. He tends to be a little impetuous, but we need to get the other one back to a cleric and get a full medical examination. He seems far too old to have been gone for the short time he was. I think there's more to this Raven Queen, potentially, and Mulfin leans really close into him. I fear she is somehow drawing the life from him. I do not trust this.
Sarvin's kind of looking confused right now. He kind of nods and he looks towards Moby and he's like, I do not know you, but I feel like I can trust you.
I don't know you either, but you were the best of all of us, Sarvin.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. I know I have plucked the eyeballs from beholders and
I looked them up and I'm like, who is this guy?
he kind of like looks at you and nods and he's like, well, take good care of the rest of these individuals. They're very important to me. And he kind of just gives you a nod.
Me too.
And he turns back towards the rest of the group. And as he's walking past everybody, he's just kind of like looking and nodding at everybody and then looks towards Callista and makes eye contact with Callista.
I hold out my hand.
Steamy.
Oh. He kind of looks at your hand at first and then kind of shocked and he smiles and he takes out his hand and he shakes it and
I druidcraft a bracelet around his wrist made of vines and forget-me-nots.
oh, cool. So yeah, there's this bracelet that just appears, and Sarvin looks down as he's shaking your hand, and a bigger smile appears on his face. It's like, he looks at you and he's like, "Thank you, Callista. Thank you." And in your hand, you can feel something, as if he had something in his hand that he was handing you at the same time that you were druid crafting this necklace, or this bracelet around his wrist. And he just kind of smiles and grabs Jolin by the hand as he leaves this thing into your hand. And he grabs Jolin and he's like, "Let us be on our way." And he just kind of nods at all of you, smiles one last time. And you see him turn around, and he and Jolin just start to head towards basically the same path that you guys took from Hundlestone. It's the only like really big trail that is to this area. And he just starts to get smaller and smaller into the distance as you watch.
I look in my hand.
It's a kind of like an old looking, kind of like if you were going through your grandmother's jewelry box and you found a locket that has a golden chain attached to it. It's kind of got like a floral design on the front. And you kind of take it and you slowly start to open up the locket. And in there is this old picture inside. And inside you can see that there's a picture of a dragonborn family. It looks like little dragonborn Sarvin in the center,
Oh my
and
God,
his mom and his dad together in like this portrait. It's kind of dirty and old on the outside of the image, but you can see it looks like he's rubbed it several times to make sure he could still see the picture of his mom and dad. And then you take one last glance and see that Sarvin and Jolin are just these very tiny figures off in the distance. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh, the feels.
So many feels. I can't feel anymore.
I wish I knew stuff. I wish I knew it better.
Beautiful, and it was so well written, so well done. Oh my god.
So,
JJ comes back and breaks Sarvin.
We
you know,
broke Sarah.
we broke
I'm
Sarah.
not
Michael,
going back
you
on
broke
camera.
broke Sarah. I'm sorry.
Give me one moment.
Oh, come on. You may see him again. He's Sarvin.
I'm waiting on the Gum Gum reunion.
Oh, no, we're gonna come across a
yes.
tombstone. He's gonna be dead and buried. It's gonna be
Oh
horrible.
my God, I'm gonna kill you, JJ.
Is that what you guys are saving that tombstone you found for JJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we have a fresh corpse we could bury.
Oh.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I'm sorry that we ended on such a tear-jerking moment. But hey, you know, that's the way it works sometimes here at Proficiency Bonus.
What, crying hysterically on camera?
Occasionally.
Oh.
You should have seen us. Yeah.
As Moby
And
busts
then
out his
JJ breaks out the accordion.
comes out. So, players, we need to give out and Diana, I don't think did you ever use the Nat 20?
No, I did not.
I don't think
it's gone now.
it's gone. Yeah, so we gotta vote on a new Nat 20 individual. So anybody in chat, if you're in Twitch chat with us and hanging out, if you want to mention a player that did an exceptional job either with combat or with roleplay tonight, go ahead and make sure you chime in on the Twitch chat so we can see what you've got. Well, I want to hear from my players. What do you guys think for tonight?
Muffin with the net.
Sarvin.
Callisto. Yeah.
Sarvin.
Yeah. Callista. I got Callista on this one.
Got Callista. We've got Molfin.
Moby's entrance. Oh my gosh, both were amazing.
Yeah, Moby's grand entrance on the back of a pink elephant.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That is true. It was a pink elephant.
You
it's
know,
like our best episode ever.
That was
Oh my
that was
God.
pretty wild. Yeah.
Michael set it up for me so perfectly last episode. I was like, "Oh, you did it."
Yeah, that was awesome. We got to get a little bit more of Callista's backstory there. She went into that.
Triggered.
That was amazing. Let's do this. As much as I loved Molfin's Net, I think we got to go with Callista's roleplay and Moby's entrance tonight. Unless somebody in the Twitch chat tells me otherwise, but I don't see anybody chiming in just yet. So we will go ahead and we will award Callista and Moby a natural 20. And I wanted to give Moby that natural 20 anyway because we have missed JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so
It's been too
great. It's
long.
been too long. It's so great to have him back.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw that nat 20
good
up
to
there
be
in the
back.
corner. It's good to be back. Oh, good to have you back. Man.
After 12 years and 3 months.
God.
It's been a long time.
It's 4
It's like
weeks.
1 day equals 1 year for him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We're going to have to tie him to a board and waterboard him to get the truth out of him.
All right. Well, next week, I just want to let everybody know that we will be having an episode of Storm King's Thunder. It will be episode 33 next week. So if you're able to join us live, we would love to have you right here at Proficiency Bonus to hang out. We'd love to interact with our Twitch chat and our viewers. If you haven't gotten a chance to hit that follow button up above, make sure you hit that follow button and make sure you check out all the information below for some of our cool partners and things like that. Also want to invite you to tune in to our Monday night stream, Tomb of Annihilation, which Matthew is our wonderful dungeon master for that. MG is the producer, and Sarah is one of the players, and also JJ is a player in that campaign, if we can get him back and running on Monday nights too. So there's that option as well. Don't forget, Christy is also in Insight Check, which is a Monday afternoon stream that you guys can check out. Make sure you check out their Twitch stream. And don't forget, May 4th, we have the one shot that will be led by Christy Mysticwater. So she'll be stepping in, DMing that night to give me a little break, let me be a player for once and kind of sit back and enjoy some role play with the rest of these crazy folks. So
I'm excited,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
but so scared.
You're scared because you don't know which one of us you want to kill first.
I'm scared because all of my players are DMs, and I've never done this before.
Oh, you'll be fine. I think that's less pressure because you know that we've all got your back because we know how it feels.
I guess.
Yeah. So all of
I'm
us
also
are-
streaming
Yeah.
it, so there's that.
Yeah.
The
but
internet.
we've all had our first game, and it's always the same. And it's nice because we all know what to expect from a first time. So
And the cool thing
Fair.
is when you got players like this that are going to help you tell the story, you don't have to worry about doing all the work.
True.
So, which is why I love
I'll
my
kick
Friday
back and relax.
so much because
Yeah.
I don't really have to do a whole lot of work. You guys kind of set the story up and then I just run with it. So it's kind of what you guys
And
do.
we love
It's
our
amazing.
DMs.
Well, I love you
We love our
guys. You guys are amazing. So I
I would have loved him more if he gave me control of that frost giant zombie. But hey,
you know what? Part
Careful
of me
what you ask for.
part of me thought about doing it, and I was like, you know what? I got to at least take out something. So I'm going to go after one of these riding horses. It's like, I know I can kill one of them.
Let me kill something.
It's like I don't know if I'm going to be able to take anybody else. So, but that was awesome, guys. You guys did a terrific job. Those of you who
Thank you.
that didn't get nat 20s, DM's inspiration across the board for next week. As we get together for episode 33 next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, without further ado, when you're faced with a situation where death doesn't seem to discriminate and you continue to run from your past, not sure how to deal with the situation, but only to blame others for things that you may not be able to control, don't forget to always add your proficiency bonus. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.